30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Man, there's desperation and then there's just pure insanity. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, and it looks like we're all going to find out what this Colts Phillip Rivers thing is going to be. Is it just a desperate team, Pearl, who has lost 3 different quarterbacks due to injury, or maybe has lost 3? 2 that we know. Maybe Riley Leonard, who's now the 3rd-string quarterback, Notre Dame's old quarterback and Duke's old quarterback, and he's got like a ligament strain. So now Phillip Rivers, who's 44 years old, is being called off the couch, off the bench. And listen, I understand that you have to do everything in your power to try to keep your season alive, right? This started off as a magical season for the Colts, 7-1, the Daniel Jones Reclamation Project, Jonathan Taylor in the MVP race, and their defense is really good. But here's the thing. This feels like such a, forgive the pun, Hail Mary. I mean, it just doesn't even feel real to me that Phillip Rivers, who is older than 13 current NFL head coaches right now, is somehow going to come off the couch and save the season. Pearl, we love these kind of stories, but it's not a movie. This is not a fairy tale.
Well, you got a better plan.
I would like to see if Riley Leonard can actually give it a go.
Well, if he can, I think he will.
Yeah, so then what's Phillip Rivers is what, coming to Indianapolis to sit in the bench to be the backup? I don't see that as a possibility.
Well, obviously you have an injured quarterback. You need a backup. So, yeah, I mean, Phillip Rivers will be the backup who will probably play because it doesn't seem like what's going on with Riley Leonard's knee is good. So I think that it's a possibility he plays. But also there's a great chance that Riley Leonard doesn't go. So then you're looking at the old quarterback battle between Brett Rippon, the practice squad guy, and Phillip Rivers. I think it's about a toss-up. I mean, maybe.
I don't know, dude.
You really think he's better than? I mean, Rippon has not been good. I remember we talked about Rippon because I was wondering if Brett Rippon was Mark Rippon's son, and he's not.
He's his nephew.
He's a nephew. Yeah. But I don't know that Brett Rippon is very effective right now.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't want to get into like the details of Brett Rippon's career, but Brett Rippon doesn't have the potential to have a guy who is a potential Hall of Famer in Phillip Rivers, who then comes in and either gets like really hurt, which I think was definitely on the table, especially against a Seattle defense. I don't know if he'd play this week, but Seattle defense, Houston, if he makes it that far, he might. So that
Houston is scary.
Houston is scary to guys in their prime. You see, Houston's scary to Josh Allen. They sacked him 8 times. You know, Phillip Rivers at 44. It would be ridiculous for him to take that kind of punishment. The news coming out of Indianapolis is that Phillip Rivers' arm looked good, right? Well, they always say the jump shot never leaves. The arm strength will always be there. It's like a muscle memory. These guys are so good. But his cardio, his conditioning, everything else is terrible.
Why would you need cardio to play quarterback?
I'm just saying
asked Donovan McNabb.
They asked, puking in the Super Bowl. They said, he's got to work on the conditioning. How much can you possibly get done by Sunday? It's Wednesday. Start doing what? Sit-ups, squats? It's like, do we cue the Rocky music? Listen, am I interested? Do I feel like Rivers is even helping out an old friend and head coach Shane Steichen? They go back all the way to San Diego together. I guess I am curious. I just think there's no way this ends pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These older quarterbacks, they usually get destroyed, knocked around. I feel honestly a younger quarterback's in more danger because he doesn't know what the heck he's doing. How many plays is Phillip? How can he get sacked 8 times? Is he going to drop back 8 times?
Well, I don't think the RPO is going to be able to be that effective. I mean,
how it's going to be 15 passes. He'll throw screen passes and then he'll throw a couple bombs, which is a relatively easy play to throw. I mean, how hard is it to just take a 7-step drop and throw a 50-yard moon ball to Pierce. This is going to be easy. They're obviously going to tailor it to a 44-year-old quarterback. I don't think the level of risk is quite what you say. At least I hope not. Level of risk. He's not going to be like trying fancy plays left and right and scrambling. He's closer to the dad playing steady QB on Thanksgiving. Just get back there, throw a couple passes, have a good time.
Yeah.
There's no downside here. The only downside you mentioned is that Phillip Rivers gets punished into another retirement. Yeah, I guess it's a downside, but there's nothing worse that can happen to the Colts on the field. Like, who cares? They're 14-point underdogs.
No, I get it. 14-point underdogs in Seattle this week. I mean, it's 13.5, I guess, technically. But Phillip Rivers didn't move that half point. They're the 8th seed right now. They would lose a tie break to the Houston Texans if the season ended today based off head-to-head win percentage. So, listen, they got work to do. 8-5, but here's what you're talking like, hey, what could go wrong? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is younger and has actually been playing NFL football this entire time, and he's playing with his non-throwing hand broken. I'm watching Joe Flacco.
He just won a game, by the way.
Okay, well, good for him.
I'm doing a radio show with a most likely broken thumb. It's no big deal.
It's the same. But what happened to Aaron Rodgers? Okay, this week they won a game. What happened last week? Joey Bosa knocked him back into an ayahuasca, fog.
And he came out and beat the Ravens the following week. This is fine. I thought you were going to talk about the Achilles. As long as he doesn't tear an Achilles, then who cares? He's going to get knocked around. It's football.
The Achilles tear, by the way, is totally on the table. And then he's not going to be able to even help out around the house with the 10 kids and the grandkid.
Well, that would be the worst case scenario, a major injury. But if he can avoid that, the team's not going to win anyway. So let's just talk about the football aspect. This is a no-risk situation.
You just said they're not going to win anyway. You mean this weekend or out? Like they have no shot to make the playoffs? Because what should the expectations be? Okay.
They have no shot.
So your expectation. So what are we doing here?
I agree with everything you said in the beginning. It's a total Hail Mary. Might as well take a Hail Mary. So they have whatever shot you have on a Hail Mary. What is it? 2% chance.
See, to me, that's not worth it. Like if I'm Rivers, that's not unless I really feel like I owe Shane Steichen something huge and I need to come back to try to help him and save him. And friendship, I'm all for friendship, and you've been in the trenches together when he was the quarterback coach in San Diego. But outside of that, like if this is for Rivers' ego or his vanity or thinking he still has it or any of that stuff, I think it's a total mistake.
So do you think in 5 years he'll look back on this and say that was a mistake to come back? Like, because I honestly, totally real. Like, I think it'll probably fail, and I'll probably say, that was an experiment. Who cares?
Yeah, like the time you went to summer camp, or like you had a trip to Europe. Like Pearl, he could get hurt out there, and I'm not rooting for it. I don't want to see him get hurt. I don't want to see him go down in a heap after a couple plays or something like that. Like that does nothing. That makes me feel bad about everything.
Okay, who's more of an injury risk? A 44-year-old Phillip Rivers who's going to drop back 15 times, or a 23-year-old Anthony Richardson who got out on the field and had only played 13 college games, had no idea where to go with the ball? He was much more of an injury risk than Phillip Rivers. I think they're going to keep him in perfectly safe conditions. They're not going to, unless the game is close, they're not going to say, hang in the pocket, we need a big play here. I would hope. And also, this guy knows the offense better than anybody, apparently. He's been running the offense. According to did you see the tweet by J.J. Watt?
Yeah,
that
I did.
He found out in a production meeting that basically Phillip Rivers and Shane Steichen are running mirror offenses, except Phillips is in high school and Shane Steichen's in the NFL. So he knows his offense better than anyone, probably better than Brett Rippon, who's on the practice squad.
Yeah, I know. His son Gunner, Phillip Rivers' son Gunner, is running the Colts offense basically at a high school in Alabama. And Gunner... his older sister, Haley, is the same age as Riley Leonard. Like, this is the thing. It's just crazy that, you're saying like, he can just, he knows the system. He can come out here. Like, the idea of Phillip Rivers being able to complete a couple passes, that's not where my beef is here. Like, you're absolutely right. Anthony Richardson was not ready. My beef with this is that, it's not even beef, like my hesitation is that Phillip Rivers also has not taken a snap in the NFL in 5 years. That's got to do something to a guy. Now, different side of the ball, but I used to do a show with Bart Scott, and Bart kept himself in great shape, tip-top shape.
Yeah.
It wasn't football shape. And even he would tell you that, and I'd say it if he was sitting in the room. His neck wasn't nearly as big, the upper body, and he looked like he was still made out of granite. It's not that. It's not the look, and it wasn't that he wasn't being healthy, but he was not ready to go out and play snaps at linebacker after 5 years being out.
It's so obviously different between a quarterback and a linebacker.
I'm just saying that, like, you have to be able to protect yourself out there.
But why? What's the difference between, honestly, let's be real, a 28-year-old Phillip Rivers and a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers? You ever see Phillip Rivers run anywhere?
I know, you always say that.
But I mean, honestly, like, what's the
Flacco.
difference? Joe Flacco's the same way. Tom Brady was the same way. Completely non-athletic quarterbacks, age the same. I mean, Aaron Rodgers actually could run a little, so that's why he's been kind of looking worse. I mean, Brady looked pretty good at 43.
This is the Tom Brady.
But I mean,
he
honestly,
messed it up for everybody, just like LeBron. Not everybody. We saw Vinny Testaverde do this, and Steve DeBerg, and he's not the first guy who's come back at 44 or played at 44, whatever. But the thing is that Brady messed it up for everybody. Why do you think there's only one example that we ever go to?
Well, I mean, we used to go to Vinny Testaverde.
I know. I didn't even remember that Testaverde came back with the Carolina Panthers. I just remember the Jets when Chad Pennington got hurt, right?
Yeah. Joe Flacco is, how old is he? He's 40. He's 40. Okay, so it is different. He's a little younger, but he threw for, let me get this right, 470 yards in a game this year. So, listen, the arm doesn't go away. Joe Flacco hasn't
taken a break, though. Like, he's been in it this whole time. He did a training camp.
Did he take a year off?
No, that was years ago, though. He never actually took the full year off. And we're talking about now. Like, Joe Flacco was in a training camp this year and last year. He's been consistently playing.
Right. It's just a desperate situation.
I know. You want to see it, though. Is this like score one for the
old guy?
For the 40-year-olds?
No, I mean, I assume every NFL fan wants to see this. Is there anybody who wants to see Brett Rippon play the Seahawks? I mean, I would say it was not, I mean, unless you're in the Rippon family, that I think you want to see Phillip Rivers.
But is it also like a little bit because, the morbid curiosity? It's like, I'm not proud of myself when I pass by a car crash and I look at it. Like, I'm curious. I don't feel good about myself after that. I kind of feel like that's what I'm watching this, guy who's just who just is not in NFL shape to be coming in week 15 off the couch against one of the best defenses in the NFL and potentially play against Seattle this week. Like, I don't feel great about watching that. But maybe that's me. Maybe I got to get over myself.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we should put a poll out. I guess the question is, do you want to see Phillip Rivers play this week?
Oh, I think it's going to be 100-0 because you're right. No one wants to see
But you just said you don't want to see him.
Well, I know. I'm saying I don't feel good about it. It's just like when I drive by a car wreck, I don't feel good about looking and breaking my neck to look to see what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I just disagree a little bit on the fitness thing. Like, there's no fitness. What's the difference? What's the farthest he's going to run?
No, I think it's just, what if he has to throw the ball?
What do you think entails playing quarterback in the NFL?
Times.
Do you think it's just like you're just sitting in, there's athleticism that goes with playing quarterback? It's not running
not
a 40.
With Phillip Rivers.
It's not running a 40, but you got to hand the ball off. You got to.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to run out of steam. Like, give me, be like, I'm too tired. I can't drop back
Anthony
3 steps and hand the ball.
is built like a superhero. He ran out of gas.
He ran about 100 yards on that play. Phillip Rivers ain't doing that. I don't think. I mean, if Phillip Rivers scrambles more than once, then we can have a conversation. He's not going to be tired.
We've had conversations about NFL quarterbacks being out of shape and it being a problem. This is not a new thing.
But
Jamarcus Russell,
but the standard for Rivers is going to be 0.
No,
right?
I know, but it doesn't even have to be like a guy running. Like, it doesn't, like, it's playing football. Like, that is a task.
Trust me.
Even if you're a quarterback and that's a pocket quarterback like Phillip Rivers.
Honestly, the fitness part of it is problem number 74 on this. I mean, there are so many bigger issues than will he run out of gas. I don't even think he's going to get a chance to run out of gas. I think they will have a very modest offense if Phillip Rivers is the quarterback. So, I mean, that play where Anthony Richardson called to get himself out of the game, that is not that specific play is not happening with Phillip Rivers. Trust me.
No, it's not. All right. Do you want to see this? 888-710-4. See, it's different. Do you want to see this and will it work? Two very, very different things. So you're welcome to weigh in on either one of these. Do you want to see it and will it work?
Well, that's another 100-0 poll. I don't think anyone's going to say, will it work? I don't know. You can put
Let's
this
put
poll,
it out and see who
give me a better option. Send in a better option, too.
For what? With the
For
third?
who should play quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts if Riley Leonard can't play?
Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, somebody like they're younger.
Derek Carr is not doing the last 5 games. He wants like a massive deal. Remember, he was. Yeah,
well, this is the first step.
I'm sure they called Derek Carr too. Carr's been flirting with teams all year.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, if they
I don't know if they did, but Carr's been in the ether a lot, right? There was another team that was looking at Carr this year.
Yeah,
someone else was looking, but you're right. He wanted a full time. He wanted to be the Bengals. The Bengals wanted him, and when Joe Burrow got hurt, he said, "Oh, I don't want to give the job back."
Well, he wouldn't be doing that this year.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he definitely would take this job.
The funny thing is, he still under contract with the Raiders, though? Would you have to give the Raiders anything?
With the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Saints. Excuse me.
Yeah, there are reports that the Colts called Carr too. If I'm
so
Carr,
how bad is if I'm Phillip Rivers and I'm like, all right, Derek Carr passed. Oh, I guess it's up to me.
But I kind of get where Carr passed. He made a big drama about retiring this offseason. To go back to, he's like, I'm not coming off the bench on a Tuesday and getting my whatever injury he had last blown up again. So I get that too.
It's funny. The Colts now have had like two kind of, I want to say outside the box. Like the Jeff Saturday thing was so extremely outside the box to bring him off the ESPN set to be their head coach. And they won that first game against the Raiders and then it all fell apart. This is another outside the box. I do not think Phillip Rivers got any other calls this year. So we'll see.
Oh, I guarantee that. It reminds me a little bit of Baker Mayfield learning the playbook on the plane. It reminds me a little bit of Jeff Saturday. You just never know. You never know. You might as well take a puncher's chance. This is super fun to me. I mean, I hope he plays. I have nothing against Riley Leonard. I hope you are sidelined, and this is the Phillip Rivers show.
I mean, if we're going to get strategic about the whole thing, would you not just want to they have Seattle, then San Francisco, but Jacksonville and Houston is where you actually might really need them for those AFC South games. But you could be too far out of it. Now, do you keep them on ice for the last 2 weeks? I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, there could be a lot of ice involved, I'll tell you that. Icy hot.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I was also thinking about this. If this had happened 3 weeks ago, when I'm assuming Gunnar Rivers is still playing his high school season, potentially, if they were in the playoffs, I bet Phillip would have said no.
Probably.
Like this. Wow. Think about it. If your kid is in a state championship, you're not running off for that, right? I don't think.
I don't know. If you're crazy enough to think you can play quarterback at 44 years old after not playing for 5 years, they're delusional to do anything. I mean, I'm serious.
What do they call it now? Delulu?
Yeah. This is completely ridiculous to me. I'm very concerned about his health. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you can't say that football fans, we're not totally heartless. We're thinking about it.
Gosh.
Human cockfighting. 888-710-4ISN. Okay, let us know. Do you think, A, this is a good idea? B, is it going to work? We're on in Indianapolis. I'd be dying to know the local reaction there. And then coming up, they did it again. If there's any question who the new evil empire is, we certainly got our answer. Got a lot of sad faces around here today. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Do you want to see Phillip Rivers play on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks? I desperately do, because I can't watch the Colts if it's somebody else. There's no reason to even turn that game on. It's a 13.5-point spread. Colts season likely over. They're taking a Hail Mary with Phillip Rivers. And we have this argument all the time. The reason Tom Brady was so good in his 40s is because he never had any athleticism in his 20s. All you do is just be able to see where the blitz is coming from and sling it. I love it because it's like the dad who's playing steady quarterback on Thanksgiving is actually playing NFL football right now. Hopefully he doesn't get demolished. But the Colts have nothing at all to lose here. Might as well try something unique. Probably won't work. In fact, almost definitely won't work. But it sure is going to be interesting on Sunday.
Yeah, I guess I would just say this. When you're envisioning this, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, and he's doing this Thanksgiving analogy that you're doing, Pearl, that he's out there just sort of all-time QB on Thanksgiving and throwing around to the kids. Is Leonard Williams like the neighbor from across the street that's coming over to blow up the dad on that Turkey Bowl game? Because this is a real pass rush that he's going to see.
Do you know how many times Phillip Rivers has been hit? By players a lot scarier than Leonard Williams, by the way.
I'm just saying, I think after 5 years of not playing, it's like you got to condition yourself to take those kind of hits. Meanwhile, let's hear what you have to say. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Carmen's in San Diego. That's where Phillip Rivers used to call home. Carmen, what do you think? You want to see him out there?
I mean, yeah, I grew up watching him play, and it would be awesome. It would be a nice little nostalgia to see him play again. But you do got to remember that he did play that playoff game with a torn ACL. So the man is a tough guy.
I know, but that was almost 20 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I mean, not exactly. What was that, 2008, Pearl? 2008 season? Did he
he's
play
also
with the torn ACL?
Yeah.
Rivers is gigantic. Have you guys ever been around him?
Yeah,
he's
he's
a big
huge.
boy. 6'5".
Yeah, he's like Flacco. It's like taking down a tree. And I feel like mobile quarterbacks are the ones who really get blown up. They're just going to gently lay this old man to the ground, is my theory.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they're doing with Flacco. Actually, you can go with Carmen a little more recently. So obviously, I remember it well, the wild card game that Phillip Rivers played with the Indianapolis Colts, because at that point, my Buffalo Bills were on their way to breaking this incredibly long playoff win drought. They had not won a playoff game since like 1995, I think, by the time that Josh Allen could actually put it together and beat Phillip Rivers. But he threw for 300 yards in that game. He was a 4th and 11 that got batted down by Micah Hyde away from pulling off a major upset on the road in Buffalo. Now, that was the game in 2020. Technically, it was 2021. Played in front of like 6,500 people because we were still under strict pandemic restrictions. But he played very well in that game.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't expect that again, but was that game like 24? It was a low-scoring game. Yeah. Well, why did he come back? You remember?
What do you mean?
Why didn't he not stay as the Colts quarterback? I can't remember the process.
I don't know if even the Colts might have been looking to move on. He was older.
Yeah.
He was older at that point. Paul's in Texas, has some personal experience here. Good morning, Paul.
Morning. How are y'all today?
Best shape of our lives, Paul. How are you?
Best shape. Well, I'm doing good. Now, as an ex-athlete, not playing for 20-something years, get invited to play in an adult league. Yeah, I was nervous after the first inning. It didn't go well. After that, it went great. I think he's going to do good. I think once he gets the jitters out of him from getting rushed and thrown to the ground a couple of times, I think he's going to come back and he's going to do good things. I'm excited to see him play.
All right, Paul, let's get the bona fides. How far did you go in athletics?
Well, I played up and just through high school,
Okay.
and then I became a parent, and then once my kids started playing ball in older leagues, they invited me to come play with them. So I was
There you go.
I was nervous, but I went in there, did my thing, and there was a couple of games where I ended up having a couple of shutouts.
Oh, look
So
at you. Love it.
Well, I think he's going to do great, and I'm looking forward to seeing the grandpa play.
You know, Paul, I think we all are interested, that's for sure. You know, I get his personal experience. I'll never forget this, Pearl. There's a lot of other reasons why this happened, but I'm telling you, when Tiger Woods out of nowhere won that Masters, the last one that he won, grown men were crying. Like, I think there's something about seeing a guy who had past glory find it again in an improbable way. Now, there's so much there with Tiger that's not there with Phillip Rivers.
You always tell this story. Where were you where grown men were crying at Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters?
Sitting 10 feet from here.
Who cried? Someone we know?
Yeah, but I can't say it on there.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry. And you wouldn't know him anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing to cry at a golf tournament.
To tears. But there's a lot more there with Tiger. I get
Tiger just made the cut last year, by the way.
But that felt really improbable, right?
Well, I know, but I'm saying it's golf. I mean, listen, you think like this, talking about not dangerous for an old guy to play.
Right.
There's like 83-year-olds out on the golf course. You guys will never agree with me on that. So anyway, this is even more improbable than Tiger.
No, but I think there's something about these types of stories that hit people in a different way. Paul just called in from Texas. Paul's never called the show before. It reminded him of when he, it's like past glory or thinking that, hey, I could do this again or I could pick it up. I think every guy, if I polled all of you who played high school or maybe even played a little bit after that, if I said I could give you one more shot, Pearl, to take you back to Dartmouth and you could play one more game on that basketball team, isn't that the one thing you would want in life, to go back to your past athletic peak?
Yeah, I mean, so you can actually place me there. I would do Back to the Future 2 and build a sports gambling empire.
I know, you always want to be Biff.
Yeah,
that says a lot about you.
But no, I think you're making this into some Hallmark movie when everyone else is like, wouldn't it be cool to see Phillip Rivers play? I think that emotional aspect is not really there, especially because also it's week 16 and it's a playoff race. I don't think it's as much of the reliving the glory days as like, hell yeah, let's throw Phillip Rivers out there. I don't want to see Brett Rippon.
Okay, Rico is in Dallas. Good morning, Rico.
Hey, good morning, guys. Listen to you guys every day. Philly fan, even though I am in Dallas.
Oh,
Texas.
yeah.
So, exactly. I'm a little heartbroken right now. I'm hoping we don't have this repeat 2.0 of 2023.
Yep.
But my
Too
fingers
late.
are crossed.
Yep.
I know, right? Not yet. Come on now, Maggie. We're not there yet. We're at least one game away. If we can beat the Raiders, I think we can get this thing back on track. But anyway,
Rico, if you can't beat the Raiders, fold the franchise.
Yeah.
I agree with you. At that point, I would probably shut down Hurts and see what Tanny McKee can do for the rest of the year, and then see where it goes from there. But I'm a diehard. I bleed green, so let's keep this thing rolling. But anyway, if we're going to entertain kicking tires and all this other stuff, why not Kaepernick? The guy who took the team to the Super Bowl. He's athletic, can easily get into that scheme. And I probably do some things, but the fact that Rivers, really, Grandpa, he was Grandpa even before he even retired. Give Colin an opportunity. Why not? If we're just going to sit up and do things and just kick tires and say, hey, why not? But I think we all know the reason why, but it's just unfortunate that Kaepernick didn't have an opportunity to take a phone call in a situation like this. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Rico. Yeah, and Colin Kaepernick, a whole 6 years younger than Phillip Rivers.
But obviously, Enrico mentioned there's the politics of it and all that, the what happened to him in the league. Forget all that. He's 38. I just looked up. He hasn't played since 2016. I would feel much safer with Phillip Rivers, who's not going anywhere in that pocket. Colin Kaepernick will get out there, hasn't played in 10 years, and forget all the other stuff. He's going to have the urge to run down the field. He's going to pull a hammy about 3 minutes. That's all I'm saying is forget all the other stuff. You don't want a mobile quarterback at 38. You want a tree like Joe Flacco. You want a solid, just going to plant himself in the pocket and throw it away or get taken down. You don't want anyone who's going to try and move out there. That's when you get into trouble.
Colin Kaepernick, one of the great dual threat quarterbacks.
Yeah, he was so fast,
super fun,
and he'd get out on the field, and his brain would say go, and that would probably end up I think he would pull a hammy because he hasn't played in a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like we always wonder, why doesn't Robert Griffin III? Why is he not playing? Why is Cam Newton not playing? Well, Cam, we know, like the end came pretty quick for Cam, and these guys who are the dual threat guys, when Michael Vick, who got, a lot of his career, some of it got derailed, obviously, for the dog fighting
He played
stuff.
a long time, though.
But he played, and then, but when he got to, like, Philly after that first year.
He was great at Philly for the first year.
The first year, and then it was, like, not good.
Yeah, I mean, these are all individual situations. RG3 stopped starting in very, very young age because of massive injuries.
Yep.
And I think Cam was really injured too.
Totally.
So I think that's part of the reason. But when you're bringing back an old guy, it's got to be a slow old guy. So he's not even tempted to run.
I just think it's very easy to think about the cases of guys where it went out okay, and we forget about Brett Favre being knocked out on a freezing cold field in Minnesota. We forget about how Steve Young's career ended. We forget about how Troy Aikman's career ended. Like,
but those guys were in their low 30s too,
right?
Like Troy and Steve.
Right,
you could get to the quarterback like.
Right.
You could put them into another dimension.
Right. And those guys be hit harder, but I mean, Brett Favre didn't play not that long ago, and he got knocked out. Like there are a lot of cases of quarterbacks who they get retired, they don't retire, and I am concerned about Phillip Rivers because we can joke about this Seahawks defense. They are no joke to me. I've watched them play all season, and outside of one game, they have definitely taken the identity of Mike McDonald, who's a physical, tough coach, and they're a physical, tough team. So I hope he is okay if he comes out there and actually tries to play.
If they were going to sign him, though, wouldn't he have to pass a physical? Like we just saw this with the Lions center, right? He didn't pass the physical.
Frank Ragnow.
If he passed the physical, then isn't he fine?
He's not playing a physical position. Yeah, like Frank Ragnow had to play center and deal with a guy every play. Yeah, again, it's quarterback. I mean, come on. Brett Favre was 100 years old and still the year before he was the MVP.
He was younger than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
he hadn't sat for 5 years.
Favre admitted I don't think Favre was all in on that last year. Just mentally, he wasn't there. Philip Rivers is going to be way sharper. He's ready to go.
Because he's been coaching high school football?
Yeah, no. But he's Philip Rivers. He has no idea that he's 44 years old. He's going to think, he's totally psychotic. Can we start with that fact about Philip Rivers?
Yeah, that's part of it, too. It's like we all want to see the crazy guy out there. All right, let's get to Bogish, who's got everything else going on today. A lot of sad faces around here.
Guys, good morning. Your headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks. On Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less, and watch your lineups light up like the holidays. Download Prize Picks, use code PRIMETIME, and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. So I woke up to a text from our good friend Manny that just said Vegas.
Yeah.
I had no idea what he was talking about. Maybe the Mets had let Pete Alonso sign with the Golden Knights or the Raiders after losing Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. But thankfully, it wasn't that.
Brunson fires away. Jalen Brunson from downtown. He's unguardable tonight. 5 of 7 from 3. He's got 29 points.
Mike Breen, MSG TV. Jalen Brunson finishing with 35 in a 117-101 Knicks win in Toronto, which sends them to Vegas for the NBA Cup Final Four. Up next are the Magic, who turned down the Heat 117-108. Desmond Bane, 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. That semifinal matchup is Saturday night.
So Nico's here with us today, and we love Nico when he fills in for Manny. But when I saw that text, just Vegas, I was like, wait a minute, did Manny take this week off to go to Vegas and just didn't tell anybody? And then all of a sudden we get the text in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
No, it turns out no.
I also thought the same thing when he posted it on his Instagram story, like the hangover scene where they're like driving to Vegas. I was like, is he there right now?
Honestly, it's only Wednesday, Manny. Get on a plane and go to Vegas.
Can we be honest about one thing?
Yeah.
That court was legitimately ugly. I'm sorry.
The Raptors court?
Yeah.
It burns a hole into my eye.
Yeah, that was hard.
I've just gotten so used to it now. I saw it, I was like, wow, that's very red. And then I moved on.
It's kind of hard to see everything, whatever. Anyway.
I like that they changed the court because you do immediately know now it's an NBA Cup game. So it is very, if you're into that
smart.
kind of thing,
It's a
it
good
is very
idea.
smart.
Yeah.
Very smart. It's just the execution is just like, I feel like the scene in Seinfeld where the Kenny Rogers Roasters red sign is making everything look red.
Yeah.
I just don't see like the regular court lines like through all of it.
Oh, like out of bounds?
Right.
Yeah. 3-point? Yeah.
Not that I get it. Like this whole thing is to appeal to younger fans who probably aren't even watching the game. They're just watching the YouTube highlights the next day.
They're watching YouTube highlights. They're watching some good Jalen Brunson highlights. Man, he was cooking last night.
It was very good.
With those,
you call those highlights? I mean, what?
Mid-range jumpers?
Yeah.
How many threes did he hit in the first quarter?
With those Knicks in Toronto, some college kids took over the Garden last night. The nightcap of the Jimmy V Classic was UConn, Florida, winners of the last 3 NCAA titles. The Gators beat the Huskies on their way to busting that slump this past April, but no such luck last night.
Out trying to scoop it in, no good. Malachi got the rebound. They got a break going. Here's Malachi to the basket. He lays it in right-handed.
Mike Crispino from Learfield, Malachi Smith's layup helping UConn get a 77-73 win. The Huskies now have 4 wins over ranked opponents this season. Before all of that, 10th-ranked BYU erased a 22-point hole, beat Clemson 67-64 on Robert Wright III's buzzer-beating 3. The NYPD has made an arrest in the shooting of Jets player Chris Boyd. 20-year-old Frederick Green taken into custody in the Buffalo area. He is now facing attempted murder and other charges. On a smaller scale than the Dodgers poaching Edwin Diaz or Kyle Schwarber staying with the Phillies, we've got the Tigers re-signing reliever Kyle Finnegan, 2 years, $19 million. Finnegan was solid for Detroit after coming over from the Nats at the trade deadline. And finally, a buzzer beater on ice in Pittsburgh.
And in come the Ducks, one last chance. Seneca, stick check by Russ, makes a move to the net, loose in front. They score! Did they beat the buzzer? Seneca put it through. He crossed the goal line, but the question is, didn't do so before all zeros.
Yeah, that horn was not the goal horn in Pittsburgh. That was the game over Penguins 1 horn, except Bennett Seneke gets this goal with 1/10 of a second left to force overtime, and then the Ducks win in a shootout 4-3 over those Penguins.
That is crazy. Thank you, Bogues. I have a question for you quickly. You know, we're going to unpack this all from the Dodger side of things. I hope the Dodger fans are still like impressed and excited when they get news like this yesterday that their team continues to throw, money is no object to them whatsoever. And I think actually the Edwin Diaz poaching is even about more than money, obviously, because he never even gave the Mets an opportunity to make a final offer. Like, he wanted to leave, Pearl. And the Dodgers were smart because they actually have his brother in their organization. And I know they just gave Tanner Scott all that money to be their closer, so they couldn't have been thinking this far ahead. But I almost think, were they thinking this far ahead? Like, hey, let's get the brother in. We'll treat him great. He'll see all of our awesome facilities. He's going to win a World Series, like, as part of the organization. He wasn't on the roster for the World Series. But then he'll be our best recruiter.
Yeah. I mean, it's about time those Dodgers got a break.
Wait, but I have a question, though, for Bogusch and me and Bogusch and EJ and Nico. Like, we're all sad today because we love Edwin Diaz. But I'm worried about Jake Bogusch, your son, because these things happen already. The Mets already traded away Brandon Nimmo, who's like a stalwart and was a fan favorite.
Yep.
Now Diaz is gone, who was not a homegrown Met, but he was obviously a big deal.
Yeah.
And now Pete Alonso, all reports look like he's going to be gone because the Mets don't want to give him more than 3 years. This is major changes when Jake is at his sports watching, like he's 12 years old. This is a big deal in his world.
Yeah, there's an Edwin Diaz jersey in his closet. There's a foam trumpet somewhere in his room. When I got him yesterday after an after school thing, he was like, my life is over or my life sucks, something like that. And I was like, it will be okay. He'll be easily swayed by good players coming in if that's what David Stern's plan B is here.
Yeah, well, who knows?
Yeah, but he was a little bummed yesterday.
I mean, honestly, I would go Phillies fan. The Mets will probably be more dangerous without all these expensive players, knowing how this thing works.
Oh, they still have expensive players, just not in the right place.
Right.
The most expensive
but
player.
they kind of, like last year, they had all the guys in the world and didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, that is the thing, right? I mean, they were different levels of terrible last year, so why? And you can argue that they've underachieved the last handful of years, so why not break things up? But losing Diaz to a non-astronomical contract is disappointing.
It's someone who you're chasing. Number one, it's the back-to-back champs going for the three-peat. It was the one place where the Dodgers needed to shore up, and they didn't even have to overspend for him. But I think everyone listening to me, Mets fan, Dodger, doesn't matter, football, whatever, baseball, everyone, I think, has that moment when you're a kid and you are in your sports watching like heaven and you're not used to the rug getting pulled out from you like that. I think we all have memories of like, oh man, they're really going to take my favorite player, one of my favorite players, and it's going to be gone.
Listen, I was a Mets, Knicks, and Jets fan in the 2000s. Most of those guys that left, I was like, good riddance.
Yeah, well, bye. You drive Raymond Feld to the airport. I get it.
Oh, God. They get rid of Stephon Marbury, finally.
Right.
Eddie Curry's gone. Oh, let's go.
But there's other people have different experiences.
Yeah, try being
I think Browns fans are probably like, oh, thank God we got rid of Tim Couch.
Well, but like try being a fan of the Mets in 86 and you're all pumped up, and then 87's disaster, 88 that you get your heart broken, then one by one, Gooden's,
you got that ring,
gone, Strawberry's gone. No, but the guy's leaving, to Maggie's point. When you're thinking
right. So
great.
I think you have to be good to experience that rug being pulled out from you. So you get
the Mets won the NLCS last year, so it's not like they had not last year, the year before, excuse me. So
had all the vibes, and they signed Soto. That was very recently good times.
That's a high point, and now it's like people are gone to teams you're hopefully going to see. Anyway, 888-710-4ISN. Bogusch, thank you. Tell Jake we're thinking about him. 888-710-4476. Coming up next, Jerry Jones. What did he have to say about a couple people, including George Pickens, and the questionable effort against the Lions in Week 15? Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Time for your Cowboy Quickie. Pearl, every time the Philadelphia Eagles lose, Jerry Jones just gets a little more pep in the step. A little more pep in the step. But first, Jones addressing the media, talking on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, as he does every week, about George Pickens. Now, you remember, Week 14 kicked off with Dallas at Detroit, Pearl. It was a close loss, and George Pickens got called out specifically by many people, including Richard Sherman, about his lack of effort on a couple plays. So here is Jerry Jones defending Pickens.
I don't look at the same thing they're looking at. I look at what George Pickens has done all year. I can look at a game. If you want to look at a game and compare it to the rest of the year, which you should, then you can get your answer. But just so that I'm real clear about it, I don't have the concern that the debate about what George Pickens did or didn't do in that game, I don't have that kind of concern about him as far as his competing.
Okay, so long-winded Jerry there, but basically saying no problem with Pickens and the effort. Obviously, Pickens put out an Instagram post after this going back at Richard Sherman, calling him a lot of names. Legion of Boom, you remember San Francisco, and it got really personal there. So, listen, Jerry, I get him defending his player pro, but that could almost come back to bite him. That's going to be used against him by Pickens' agent when he comes back to the table with the handout saying, where's our bag? Where's the contract? You're talking him up. You're saying how important he is. Well, show him the love.
Well, I mean, he's obviously, I agree with Jerry. It's one game. He's earned a big bag, if we want to put it in that terms. He's one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. He's still pretty uncoverable. I think people, and Richard Sherman included, you have to understand, when CeeDee Lamb went out, the entire defense shifted to Pickens. And then there were a couple calls that I didn't love. I understand why he got angry, and I'm not excusing it, but this happened. Same thing happened to CeeDee Lamb multiple times where he kind of mentally checked out of a game, and Jerry delivered $34 million to him. So I think George Pickens is still going to get paid. I think it's going to be hard for Dallas to fit all these guys in, but I would pay George Pickens. I mean, he's awesome.
No, he's incredible. We knew that back in Pittsburgh. That's not the question.
I don't know if we knew he was this good.
He would make plays, and he just didn't have enough opportunities to make plays at Pittsburgh. But when he was, I mean, there'd be catches he would come up with out of, I don't know how he made some of those catches, and from worse quarterbacks by a lot than Dak Prescott for sure. So anyway, I don't know. This is one thing about George Pickens. Like, who are you when things get tough? Who are you when, you're getting called out on national television? Who are you when you're, lose a tough game? And I think he shows you. He's a guy who's going to run to social media, and he's going to get personal about it. And this is what the Cowboys didn't like about Micah Parsons. One of the things. Anyway.
Well, I mean, Parsons also came down to the money, which could happen with George Pickens.
More from Jerry talking about whether or not the Cowboys' playoff chances are getting bigger.
Well, I watched the game flying up to New York. I'm overlooking Central Park right now, but real excited. They didn't have to put any fuel in the plane. I just flew up here on my own.
Sure. Listen, Christmas in New York, why not? Imagine the type of penthouse that Jerry Jones is overlooking Central Park in.
Sweet.
Probably pretty cool. You know you've made it in New York when you are living so high up you can't hear the noise. That's how you know you've really reached some serious goals. Anyway, they still have a 10% chance to make the playoffs. This is not happening. But Pearl, your Philadelphia Eagles losing 3 in a row now has got Jerry thinking all crazy.
Well, I mean, unfortunately for Jerry, the Eagles play the Raiders, Commanders twice, and the Giants. If the Eagles imploded in 2023, but they still made the playoffs, so it's going to be really hard. Dallas, the angle of the wild card is getting thinner and thinner too. But that being said, I mean, get ready. This summer is going to be the summer of Dallas trying to sign George Pickens. It's going to be the number one offseason story, I think.
Lucky us. That's your Cowboy Quickie. Another drawn-out contract negotiation that's going to end with Jerry handing over lots of money? Or do you think they actually franchise tag him?
After Micah last year, who knows? I mean, there are a lot of teams who probably, George Pickens is 24 years old. Feels like he's a lot older. He's been in the league now 4 years, so he must have come in really young. I think there are a lot of teams who say, okay, if we can deal with the behavior issues with George Pickens, which seems to be a thing, I think Tomlin got sick of him. then to get that guy on the outside, you have to double team him basically. And then that frees up your run game. Like, he's a very valuable player to a lot of teams.
No doubt. I just don't know if it's smart team building to be paying 2 wide receivers at the top of the market. And you can look at the
Dallas,
Bengals. You look at the Bengals, and it's tough. But Dallas has doubled down. They got Quinnen Williams into the building. They obviously are putting the attention to the defense in some ways.
I mean, the Eagles, obviously, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown both on big contracts.
Yeah, that
not
works.
quite that big. Actually, it's not working this year, but generally it works.
That's true. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. If you want to weigh in on the Cowboys, coming up, more Notre Dame whining.
Well, the sun came up on a Thursday morning. The boys at the station felt a little torn. Infinity's gone like dust in the wind, and Peter Bellotti ain't been seen since then. They checked the studio, checked the hall, checked the break room near the coffee wall. But Pete's old chair just spins and squeaks, empty now, been empty for weeks. Because Bellotti rode off into that no-show sunset, a legend who no one's laid eyes on yet. Infinity's over, the sign came down, but Pete's new kingdom's the tennis courts. Now he's beating Rube and Pierre every single damn day. Drop shots, backhand, sending them away. Yeah, the station may change, but one truth remains: Bellotti ain't punching in ever again. Rube shows up with a brand new racket. Pierre's got headbands stuffed in his jacket. They stretch, they warm up, they pray, and they sweat. But Bellotti strolls in and hands them regret. He's got no job, got nowhere to be, no deadlines, meetings, or infinity. Just a can of balls and a wicked grin, 'cause he knows damn well he's gonna win again. 'Cause Bellotti rode off into that no-show sunset, a man with no task and no regrets. Infinity's done, but his forehand's alive, and Rube hasn't won since 2 counts or 5. He's dusting Pierre with a serve so mean, and left him crying on court 13. The sun came up with a crack like a shotgun blast. Infinity collapsed and Pete Bellotti moved fast. Not to help, not to fix, not to lend a hand, but to sprint the fuck away from that entire brand. They checked his desk, found dust and a pen, a sad little note from like 2 months back when. They checked the hallway, checked the cramped supply space, but Bellotti had pulled a God-level vanishing grace. He didn't call in sick, didn't say he was late, just note the hell out like punching in. I'll pass, mate, the man didn't dip. He straight up fled, left work behind like it owed him back rent and bread. And folks whispered, "It's Pete on PTO or pulling some tricks." Hell no, he rocket launched out of here like fireworks shoved in a box of dicks. Goddamn no show, legend the king. Bellotti don't work for a motherfucking thing. Infinity crumbled, the whole place shook, but Pete was already gone writing his own rule book. Daly's beating Rube, that ain't the main story. The real hero is Pete skipping work and glory. Infinity is dead and the coast is clear. Bellotti ain't worked once this entire damn year. HR called twice like a speed on the clock, but Pete was already home in a bathrobe and Crocs. They texted, they emailed, they begged him to show, but Pete treats work like a place he refuses to go. He missed every meeting, every memo, every call. Ducked out so hard he became a workplace folklore wall. While printers jammed and morale got wrecked, Pete was off somewhere saying y'all can get fucked respectfully next. He didn't quit like time itself would bend. He is the Houdini of paid employment, the Picasso of nah, this ain't my enjoyment. Goddamn no show, the runaway star. Bloody hasn't worked since they opened the bar. Infinity flatline like a drunk on the street. And Pete wasn't never, cause he never treats work as a feat. Daily smash and rue, but none of that matters. Bloody's absence is what truly shatters Infinity's toast. The message is clear, Pete ain't showing up now, tomorrow, or this year. Some chase titles, some chase checks. Pete chases freedom and breaks all the specs. He saw responsibility and ran like hell. Left nothing behind but a half-eaten granola shell.
All right, Notre Dame, they had me, then they lost me. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not really a Notre Dame supporter, Pearl.
What do you mean supporter? Like
I don't root for them. They're not my team.
Oh, yeah. But
yeah. Okay. But that doesn't mean I hate Notre Dame. I'm interested in them, and I understand the place they occupy in college football. And when they got left out of the college football playoff,
right.
I actually felt bad for them because, this is a team that was led to believe that they were going to be in no matter, what happened on championship weekend. And then they got absolutely blindsided. And I feel terrible for the guys playing on the team.
Yeah, me too.
And I felt bad for the coach, the fans. I do feel bad about it. But I'm going to be honest, they used up all their sympathy on me now with the whining, complaining, and the continued public, demonstration of whininess. At some point, you do have to accept what happened. And I know you don't like it, but to be airing this much dirty laundry, and I get it. Now the AD is doing a press conference yesterday. He's talking to the fan base, right? They're trying to pick up the pieces. And I get that's not maybe for everybody. But to me, it's like there's something about standing up there, and you can be upset and disappointed, but at some point you have to also just accept these are the results, and to start making threats and to start throwing your weight around and to start calling out the ACC when, listen, they were trying like hell to get one of their teams into the college football playoff, not just for the prestige and how it looks, but for the money. The conferences get money when their teams make it this far to the college football playoff. And I don't think Notre Dame splits that money with the ACC when they get it, when they make the college football playoff. Or I don't know how exactly it works. But the ACC had a financial incentive to pump up Miami, and they had a narrative example to pump up their own team getting in, which Miami did get in.
Right.
So, the continued whining and complaining when you're about to Notre Dame, they may have gotten left out this year, but they are about to enter into an era that's already been agreed upon where all they have to do is finish in the top 12 and they automatically get into the college football playoff. Like you realize what lies ahead.
It is a 12-team playoff. That's not that egregious.
No, but that's not how it works now because the group of 5 and there's
2 spots right.
There's
anyway,
other
that
factors.
That means if they're 11 or 12, they get in. People are, I think, making a bit too big a deal of that. But let me ask you this question. If you got left out, wouldn't you be mad?
And that's fine. And I can be mad, but I'm BYU on that.
Would you take actions?
But what's the action? See, it's
leave
empty.
the ACC.
Well, but they're not doing that.
They should.
They may be threatening that, but it's empty.
But not right. Yeah, maybe right now. Maybe not in 2025. But I would say I don't think there's a long-term marriage going on here.
I guess I'm just saying, like, EJ kept saying, it's good to be a bully. Like, the fact that the ACC kind of bullied, it feels like the college football playoff. EJ, that's kind of what you're implying, that the ACC kind of bullied them into taking Miami. I think that now Notre Dame is starting to look a little bit like the bully.
Well, they should. They are. They're much more powerful than the ACC.
Well, then either do something about it. But when?
This is college football.
This is
Within
dog
5
and
years,
pony
they're
show.
going to be gone. I mean, This
gone.
is
They're not in. They're not in the ACC.
Well, they're not
even
going to do these Wake Forest NCC games. They did. I mean, I like when Notre Dame plays Miami. That's good for fans. But yeah, I think the ACC messed with the wrong team. I think Notre Dame is going to leave them in the dust because ACC football is just not robust. And the ACC, we learned yesterday from our guest Josh Pate in a clip that got all over the internet, said the ACC is going to be gone in a few years anyway. So yeah, what does Notre Dame care about? I think the ACC is a mosquito on Notre Dame. Yeah, say, okay, you're going to talk big against us? Forget it.
Okay,
Forget
well, I think that then Notre Dame is inflating their effect on the ACC because if the ACC is going to, as Josh Pate said yesterday, he said the quiet part that no one wants to talk about out loud is that the ACC may not exist in 5 to 10 years because it's a weakened conference. Well, then here's the newsflash. Having Big Bag Notre Dame even semi-connected to your conference clearly is not helping it the way that they claim to. You know, Pete Bavacqua, the AD for Notre Dame yesterday, is doing a press conference saying, you know, your ratings go up when we play you. Your stadium's fill when we play you. But it's obviously not enough to save the conference, and they won't even join full-time in football, so they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Notre Dame is a fiercely independent. They always talk about it. But I do think the ACC is a bit of a mess. And I would act exactly – I'm much more vindictive than these colleges. If I was Texas, I would cancel every single season opener for the next 5 years. Just gone. Say, you know what, if you're going to play – I'm so mad at college football for having these imbalanced schedules. And Notre Dame, by the way, did not deserve to get in because they didn't play anybody after the first 2 games. I just think the whole thing and the playoff and the scheduling is all a mess right now. And by the way, it was really funny. I think it was Charlie Baker, the head of the NCAA, was in Vegas at this event that everyone in
the National Football
Foundation.
They
said, what is the thing? You know, there's all these stories about college sports are in crisis. And someone asked him, what do people complain about most? He said, a large majority of the complaints are about the college football playoff. So college football is in crisis because no budget is matching. But all anyone cares about is teams being left out, which is funny to me.
I thought you were going to say the refs. That's what people complain
it's
about.
a college football playoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be big change here. I totally understand. If I was Notre Dame, I would begin the process of cutting ties with Jim Phillips and the ACC for sure. Okay. And by the way, I've always thought it was stupid anyway. Those make no geographic. If you're going to have a semi-relationship with a conference, it has to be the Big Ten.
Pearl, are you going to really come at geographic relevance when Stanford and Cal are in the ACC?
Well,
you sound
Notre Dame
insane.
plays Purdue anyway. Like, Notre Dame should be playing Michigan, Purdue, Northwestern, of course.
Okay,
if you're saying no geographic relevance, why on earth is Notre Dame playing NC State when they should be playing Chicago? They're basically a Chicago team. They should be playing all those teams.
Pearl,
of course.
They're practically neighbors compared to some of the other ACC schools that are in the ACC proper who are on a completely different coast.
But culturally and every other way they fit the Big Ten. It's ridiculous that the one football thing they're in is the ACC. It makes zero sense.
Okay, well then here's the thing. We're talking about Notre Dame, and I was feeling sympathetic, and I still am to the players and the coaches, but I'm not anymore with like the school and how they're trying to throw their weight around here. So okay, you want to cut all your ties with the ACC because you're so bad. You're so mad about a couple social media posts. This is what it came down to. This is what Pete Bavacqua said yesterday. A couple social media posts that went out where they were touting Miami. And they were not even really putting down Notre Dame, but they were pumping up Miami because they knew that was their best chance to get a full-time ACC member into the college football playoff.
But the ACC network did show the Notre Dame-Miami game. So in a sense, they were putting down Notre Dame?
Yeah, but they're saying that was not an ACC decision. That was an ESPN decision.
Got it.
Whatever. It was the ACC network is run by ESPN. So this is what I have a question for Notre Dame. All right, you want to leave the ACC. You're so ticked off. Fine. Take your ball, go home. You don't think that when you join you're going to tangentially join the Big Ten? And they're going to be okay with you getting a slice of their big pie without joining as a full-time member? Get the heck out of here.
No, I mean, they can't get it. But I think if they have to do their own schedule, they'll probably get more Big Ten teams in there just by the Big Ten teams want the money too. You know, they're going to want those big out-of-conference games, and there's a lot of eyeballs.
Okay, first of all, are you even sure you're right about that? You just said if you're Texas, you would never schedule an out-of-conference game that's big because the College Football Committee is not respecting strength of schedule like we thought they were going to. So if you're Notre Dame now, and you're going to be out there in the wilderness trying to get people to schedule you for games, anyone who even thinks they have a prayer to make this playoff is going to say, no, thank you. I'm not trying to get my resume wrecked because Notre Dame's going to come in here with their good defense and their run game and their millions of fans who are going to be all behind them.
Well,
I
yeah,
have my hands full enough playing my own conference schedule. I don't want to add any of that. Like your prediction from months and months ago that no one wants to play tough non-conference games in this new era is I think definitely going to come true. You're 100% right about that. And Notre Dame, without the ACC, is going to be the big loser there because no one's going to want to play them.
How long but Notre Dame's already scheduled out to what, like 31, 32? I think the strength of schedule is, first of all, you'll be at 24 teams by then. And I think they're going to solve that strength of schedule thing in 6 years. So I'm actually not, I'm seeing a 2030 schedule that looks pretty set in stone. So we're talking about big picture here.
Again,
they're going to solve
more
all that.
empty threats. If you're already booked out until 2030, are you really going to pay all that money to get out of those games?
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay, actually, let me ask EJ, who's a Miami Hurricanes fan, a question.
Sure.
Okay.
EJ, I could give you a pass right now. Miami can get out of the ACC. Are you going to get out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants out of the ACC.
But where are you going to go? You want to go to where? The SEC
Anywhere.
or the Big Ten?
And either of those conferences.
Okay.
SEC is probably more favorable just geographically, but I'd take the Big Ten too.
Okay, so that's fine, but your path just got much harder. Yeah. And I know Miami probably is not scared of that because they feel like they can NIL with anybody and they can, and all that. But if I'm Notre Dame, like look at what happened. They lost the first 2 games, granted close games, and then they went on a 10-game run. And the only other team they beat with any real juice was, I guess, USC.
Pitt, maybe.
On the road, or Pitt was that at home? Pitt
that was on the road.
Game day was at Pitt.
Great. Fantastic. You don't think there's part of Notre Dame that kind of loves some of their scheduling stuff? Like it was a legitimate, for them to have to run the table after starting 0-2 was legitimate. If you're in the Big Ten or you're in the SEC, that's not happening.
Yeah, Florida's season was over as soon as they lost those early games to like Miami and UCSF. Like
Again,
their season, because there's no way they're going 10-2
in that with that schedule. Right. So this is where I get with Notre Dame, where you lost me. You had me, and then you lost me because I think all your threats are empty. I think you're trying to be a bully, and now you just look like whiners. And you look like complainers when the world's been handed to you and is about to be handed to you because you get an automatic qualifying bid if you are just in the top 12 starting next year, when it could go to 16. We could get expansion. So to me, like, quit whining. I'm sorry, you got screwed this year. It's not right. It's we all think it's wrong, but like life's still pretty good for Notre Dame. And they're out here complaining like the system has been against them this whole time. Newsflash, you are the system. You did carve out this amazing thing for yourself moving forward with the automatic qualifier. So get over yourself.
You know, I would have really liked to see Jeremiah Love in this playoff. Ideally, and I think everyone can agree, Miami and Notre Dame being in instead of JMU, and I understand what happened there. Yeah. There was no choice. That would have been the best solution. And I think a lot of people say take Alabama out and put Miami and Notre Dame. That's a funny thing. I don't think Miami and Notre Dame were really – I think both schools probably wanted both teams in. Yeah. It kind of stinks because Love is – if you haven't watched him lately, I mean, it's got a little Saquon Barkley 2024 feel. He put a spin move at Pittsburgh that is just a highlight thing. And it feels like Notre Dame is hitting on all cylinders. But it's hard to tell because it's hard to tell with any of these teams because nobody's played anybody. I was actually, because I'm the one person who's still stuck on the Longhorns, nobody's beaten anybody in this playoff field except for Texas. Texas is the only one who's really shown anything of any merit against any of these teams. Most of them have just eased through an easy schedule.
I don't know. Alabama probably has the best win of the year at Georgia.
They beat Georgia.
But then they got smoked in the SEC championship game. I guess if you want to say Indiana has some pretty good wins.
OU beat Alabama.
OU beat Alabama. Indiana went to Oregon and won by 10. Then
they
just beat Ohio
OU
State.
And Alabama like 8-9. I mean, generally, though, most of these teams have not played a lot of the other playoff teams more than once. I'm just saying, like, nobody is proven. This is a wide open field. Like, what do we really know about Ohio State? Not much. I mean, they haven't played anybody. They played Texas in the first week of the season, won 14-7, and then just lost 13-10. Yeah. And they have the two best offensive players in the country, probably. So it's just to me.
And those guys aren't even 100% healthy.
Yeah, I didn't even know how I got on this topic, but the whole thing is quite chaotic. The field, honestly, I feel like there are teams outside the top 12 who could beat a lot of these teams.
And it's funny you bring up Jeremiah Love. We're talking about Notre Dame, and I'm sick of the whining now. I'm over it. But Perloff still wants them. Would love to have them in the college football playoff bracket. The one thing about that, if we're asking who's the one player that you wish you could watch in this bracket, maybe Jeremiah Love is the answer. To me, it's Pavia.
Yeah,
Diego
that's a good
Pavia,
answer,
who's
too.
a Heisman finalist, is along with Jeremiah Love and Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza. But if we're just talking about like who we wish we could just drop into this bracket, I think Pavia is the one who could really upset things.
Yeah,
You're never out of it with that.
Yeah, right.
guy.
Because like for no one, I understand they're great pro prospects, but I don't think Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza. Everyone's like, oh my god, I got to get to the TV to watch Fernando Mendoza. I just don't think those are that kind of players.
He's had some big throws this year, though.
Okay, show me the person out there. It's like, oh my God, did you see Fernando? I mean, they just won the Big Ten title game 13-10.
I know that Penn State throw though on the road when they
Really?
were about to
That's
lose.
interesting.
That's the highlight of the year, probably.
It's funny. I find him just to be super solid, not really super entertaining. Honestly, I think the one player everyone would really, in their honest moment, watch would be new Arches. But Arch in the second half of the season, because he's a bit of an adventure. He's Arch Manning. He's super famous. That's the one guy, too, I would want to see. I want to see Love, Arch, Casey Concepcion on Texas A&M because he's sick. And there's a couple other players. Mendoza is just super solid, I think. Personally, it's Ty Simpson. I mean, he's good, but really, is he must-see TV? I'm not sure.
EJ, I don't know how to word this poll question without sounding biased, but I would. My temptation is to ask you to put up, are you sick of Notre Dame's whining? But I think that's leading the witness.
Are you sick of Notre Dame's complaining about the ACC?
I still think it's leading the witness.
Yeah, you can put that up.
Okay.
I'm not. I mean, yeah, I feel like just calling them whining. I'm sure you're turning off a lot of Notre Dame fans by that question.
Well, I mean, let's take an honest look here. The Dan Patrick interview, then the press conference yesterday. We get it. You're ticked off. You lost a lot of money by not making the college football playoff.
Well, I think the press conference was because Notre Dame was thinking not everybody saw the Dan Patrick interview. And maybe because Dan's such a good interviewer, I think the AD said things that he probably was going to hold for the press conference. Then he just got to talk. He's like, well, I'm talking to Dan Patrick. I got to spill the beans here. I don't know if Notre Dame actually.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know if Notre Dame actually planned that. I think they wanted to do a press conference where they said all those things, but they accidentally said it all to Dan.
Always wanted to ask you, could you guys feel that in the room when you were working for Dan Patrick for the last 12 years? Could you feel when a guest was like, oh, they didn't want to say this, but Dan's got him?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, when Dan paused, I was asking me, the AD for Notre Dame goes, there's been serious damage has been done to the relationship with the ACC, and Dan pauses for like 2 seconds, pregnant pause, and goes, irreparable? I was like, Dan, it's a Hall of Fame level interview. He's really good. Cliff's in Atlanta. Cliff, what do you think about Notre Dame?
I think Notre Dame's getting exactly what they deserve. For the first time, they have no leverage. They have no power. At one time, they played everybody. They played USC when they were good. They played Miami when they were good. I even think they played Alabama. They played Michigan regularly, Ohio State on and off periodically. And they had a very, very tough and robust schedule. They played Penn State regularly. And they would have Navy, and they may have another game on their schedule that was not necessarily a football school. But, the ACC has tried to get Notre Dame to join their conference forever, and Notre Dame has kept them at bay and just played a handful of ACC games. So they're getting exactly what they deserve, and they shared money with no one. So I don't feel sorry for them at all. I like Notre Dame, but if they return to the time where they played everyone that was tough, then we would have something to talk about. But I feel no sympathy for them at all.
Cliff, thank you for the phone call. Listen, Notre Dame, I'm not feeling any sympathy for them now. I was, but now I feel like they're going over the top with the whole thing, and they're kind of turning me off here, Pearl. But, to be fair, started the season on the road at Miami, which is one of the ACC schools they rotate, and then they've had a home and home with Texas A&M.
I mean, what was A&M ranked coming last year, though? Weren't they a 500 team? So it just happened that A&M hit pay dirt this year. But anyway, that is true. You brought up an interesting point. Is that by Notre Dame's choice or by the opponent's choice too? It's kind of, is Michigan, what happened to Notre Dame, Michigan? I know that was a big deal. There were a lot of stories about that about 2 years ago. Nico, you're a Michigan fan. Why did that stop happening every year?
I don't know why it stopped happening, but I do know they're going to play again in 2033 and 2034.
Yeah, right.
Mark your calendars, guys.
No, that was a massive story, that Notre Dame-Michigan rivalry. Listen, when you get into scheduling, there's all sorts of contractual stuff that we don't even know about. maybe Notre Dame wants that tough schedule, but people don't want to play them.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. All right, you're welcome to win on Notre Dame if you'd like to. I think the funny part, too, is everyone, I'll tell you, Alabama is ducking a lot of smoke here because Notre Dame's getting so much attention. Because, Pearl, there are a lot of people who do not believe that Alabama deserves to be in this bracket. But it's kind of like the secondary story because Notre Dame is keeping this thing alive.
Just a little information on how far back this goes. According to this story, in 2012, Notre Dame stopped scheduling Michigan because of their new arrangement with the ACC. So this happened a long time ago. That's the problem with the college football scheduling, too. We're talking about scheduling. It's a decade away. I mean, you can't. College football is hard to move quickly on and anything. So even if you said it well, even if he's threatening ACC, like, what's he going to do?
888-710-4ISN. All right, coming up, I'd love to hear from the Dodger fans. Just another day in paradise with the Dodgers, where you're sitting around, you're thinking, all right, we're the back-to-back defending World Series champs. This is awesome. And then the best closer in baseball just falls from the sky into your lap. Wow. 888-710-4ISN. Does it feel fair with the Dodgers? Okay, we'll get to all of it. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
P-Matty fires up the string, Raider cap sitting tight, ready to talk silver and black, ready to start the fight. But he looks at the studio window and mutters, oh hell no, because Bellatti's chair is empty again. Same damn no-show. Where the hell is Bellotti? Why the hell ain't he here? He misses more shifts in a week than Ruben Pierre serves all year. P-Matty shouts, you gotta be kidding. This lazy crap is absurd. If he called in sick again, that is some grade A bullshit heard. Infinity's boards are buzzing. Something's crackling on the line. Someone asks who's running audio. P-Matty laughs, it sure ain't that guy. He says Bellotti is probably sleeping or sitting on his ass someplace. If responsibility was a tennis ball, Pete would never chase. Where the hell is Bellotti? Why the hell ain't he here? Every excuse gets dumber, every story gets weirder each year. P-Matty slams his coffee down, brawling, this dude never learns. If you skip this much damn work, at some point, the office burns. Daly's out on the courts again, serving bombs like he is pissed. Ruben Pierce showed up chirping and got their pride dismissed. Daly beat their asses clean. P-Matty hollers, damn, that was sweet. At least someone here shows effort, unlike mother freaking Bellotti. Uncle Sam's in the basement, hanging Christmas lights crooked and wild. Half lit, half dead, shining sideways. He's 3 drinks past mile. He squints at the tangled wires and yells, this is some Bellotti crap. Only someone who never works could make lights break like that. Where the hell is Bellotti? Why the hell ain't he here? P-Matty's raging, Chad is laughing. Blay's player of the year. Infinity's falling apart again because Pete won't get out of raise a glass for P. Matty with his Raider pride held tight. While Bilotti goes to the office again like a man allergic to doing shit right. Daily wins, Sam is hammered, chaos for all to see. And Bilotti's still missing in action. Where the hell could that clown be? P. Matty fires up the string. Well, drunk as Sam stumbled into work at night, smelling like a whiskey, cheap boxed wine. Tried to flirt with Lisa from accounting again, but HR warned him that's strike number 10. Oh Sam, you gotta read the room. Maggie's a Raiders fan, silver and black, watches Maggie and Perloff, never off track. He's cheering for Vegas all season long, but there's a twist in this song that's gone wrong. Oh, Peter Bilotti winning.
I think we need a new commissioner, and I think I have a nominee.
Oh, yeah? Who's that? You want Nick Saban?
Well, Saban's been thrown around. I mean, Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, wants it. We saw Josh Pate got a big endorsement for it the other day, a media member. It's got to be Ed O.
Ed Orgeron, the fired head coach of LSU.
Yeah, the most this is the one man who's going to tell it like it is. All this serious talk and all this money being thrown around. Let's just bring in Ed O and have an honest conversation about everything, because he was on Bussin' with the Boys, Maggie, and it was spectacular.
Okay, so here's a little bit from that podcast. Ed Orgeron, as only he can, talking about the truth when it comes to NIL and how it's different from what they used to do back in the day.
We all know that SEC was NIL before NIL.
Hey, you know,
I love that laugh.
Look at it.
We're way past it. Can we now just admit it?
It's all good. Hey, you know what? They say, hey, coach, you've been out of coaching for a while, and how are you going to adjust that NIL? I said, well, it's a minor adjustment. And they said, what do you mean? I said, back then, we used to walk through the back door to cash. Now we just got to walk through the front door to cash.
Man, is this guy available for like weddings and bar mitzvahs? Like, he just would kill, Pearl. Just you want Ed O at your event. The one thing about Ed O being the commissioner of college football, which would just be such a funny role, I think he'd be available to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Oh, as compared to what anybody else we just named? Well, you're right. Yeah. You know what? We don't want Ed Orgeron and his capitalistic viewpoint. Let's put in Brett Yormark. let's put in the Saudis or whoever just bought Utah.
I know.
Give me a break.
Wall Street investment firms. It's a sad outlook there. You're right. Why not, Edo?
Yeah, why not? Exactly.
At least he'd be transparent. I think. So here's another story that we thought was really interesting from Ed Orgeron. Again, Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and it's cool just because it's a little bit of a window into what really happens behind the scenes, or what did happen back in the day with college football recruiting. So here's a story that Ed Orgeron, it's a little bit long, but worth it, telling a story about how he tried to recruit Adrian Peterson to USC. And at first there was a big obstacle.
So Adrian went down there, a little East Texas place. He comes to USC, has a great visit, loves it. But Adrian said, Coach, I got a problem. And I know he don't mind me saying this, and I say it with utmost respect, because I love him. Coach, my daddy's incarcerated in Texarkana. Bob Stoops has already gone in there to see him. He said, Coach, I got to go see my dad, man. And if you can convince my dad to come to USC, I want to come. But there's another thing I need to talk to you about.
Okay, so obviously this is real life stuff that's getting, that's being factored in with Adrian Peterson. So what is that thing that Edo needed to get over?
He goes, Coach, my dad will get to watch me play in Texarkana. They play Oklahoma games. He goes, I'm not going to Texas. I'm going to Oklahoma. I said, Adrian, if your daddy, if they showed them USC games over there, would you come? He said, Coach, I come tomorrow. If you promise me, my daddy could see every one of my games.
Okay, so think about this. Now Adrian Peterson is asking Edo, I'll come to USC, but somehow you have to make it possible for my father who's in prison to be able to watch my games. Now this is, Adrian Peterson wasn't that long ago, but this is long before you could get every game anywhere at any time. Yeah. We didn't have streaming back then.
You needed a giant satellite in the backyard.
So Edo did what he could do.
Went back to Los Angeles. I want to speak to the mayor. I want to speak to every influential person that I could talk to. And I tried to get Adrian's daddy transferred from Texarkana to Los Angeles jail, man. I tried. I busted my butt. I couldn't do it, man. Just too many red tape.
Were you ever close?
No. They looked at me like, you can't do that, man.
Is that the greatest distance you ever gone to try to get a player?
Yep, that was competing.
That's competing. He said that's competing, trying to get Adrian Peterson, whose dad was incarcerated, to get transferred from a Texarkana prison to L.A. so that he could watch his son play for USC. Obviously, it didn't happen. Oklahoma, Adrian Peterson, rest his history.
We just got to, there's another story about how he recruited Joe Burrow that he shared. I think we have this out. It's pretty funny as well.
I said, Joe, if you tell anybody about this conversation, it never happened. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I said, Joe, I don't get you, they're going to fire me.
All right, that's not it.
We're going to win the national championship. That's how important you are to me. Okay, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
All right, that's only part of it. Wait till Edo reveals what he was really thinking.
I know these quarterbacks. They're good, but they're not as good as you. I ain't seen a damn lick of film on the son of a gun. You hear me? I was just going on what I heard.
Never watched Joe Burrow before. No tape. Comes in and says, not only do I need you to save my job, we're going to win the national title if you come here. Yeah. Amazing amount of lying.
Yeah, how could it also do? He's Ed Orgeron recruiting Joe Burrow. Nobody gave him like a highlight clip of the spring game or something? He's never seen a lick of tape on this guy?
Well, famously, Burrow was buried on the depth chart at Ohio State. No,
yeah, true.
The other part, too, which is just so funny to me, is can you imagine like a grown man going to a teenager and saying, I need you to save my job, and that's why you should come here? The amount of pressure these kids are under, young men are
Especially
under.
someone like Ed Orgeron, who's such a over-the-top character, obviously very, very Louisiana, and Joe Burrow, some kid from Ohio, and this guy's like, I'm going to get fired, you're going to save my job.
And Joe Burrow's dad is a college football coach, right? Like, you would think that he'd be like, wait, don't put that kind of pressure on my son. I know this is crazy. And meanwhile, Ed Orgeron would get dismissed 2 years after winning the national title because he basically, a lot of things, including allegedly catcalling some woman at a gas station who turned out to be the wife of an influential LSU person.
It totally fits. It's funny. Edo did an impersonation of Joe Burrow's face when he said that. He said Joe Burrow stood up and was like, whoa, this guy really does need me. And the fact that he was just doing a recruiting lie is
all
awesome.
BS. Man.
Awesome.
Crazy.
Commissioner, Edo for commissioner, who's with me, start the movement.
I want him to coach again. Isn't
it weird that he's not a head coach, by the way?
This is perfect for him. Ride off into the sunset. Everyone remembers you with Burrow and Justin Jefferson. Like, don't come back and coach UCF? Don't do that.
Well, I mean, obviously NIL kind of killed him.
In what way?
I mean,
he was the bag man, you're saying?
He's the greatest recruiter of all time.
But you don't think that he could get other NIL people to do what he was doing back in the day?
I'm going to be honest. I think the legend of Edo now is so big. It's like, just go off the legendary stories and the status. And I don't know. Does he really need to get back into coaching? I know he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, to be clear, I don't think he'd be any good. I just think he'd be very entertaining.
Yeah.
What school, EJ? What's the perfect school for Edo if it's not LSU?
Yeah.
Tulane, something like that?
Yeah, Tulane, like Southern
Yep.
Texas
like
Tech.
that.
If Joey McGuire ever went anywhere, he'd be great with Cody Campbell and Texas Tech. In fact, they should hire him. But again, I think the problem is the money's out there now. Edo famously built that USC team that was basically an NFL team. That was LA's NFL team. I mean,
maybe like a Memphis. Like, he needs to go to like a place that's like group of five, but like enough attention that he could really run really wild and make headlines. And I think that would be great for college football.
No,
I think.
it would be.
Not great for those programs, but it'd be great for college football.
It might be good in the short term for those programs.
Yeah, short term, probably.
Let's get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got headlines.
These headlines sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. A.J. DeBonsa might be the top pick in the next NBA draft. Last night, he told you why. The BYU star scoring 22 of his 28 points in the second half, dragging the Cougars out of a 22-point hole and setting up Robert Wright III for this.
With 1.3 to go. It's got to be quick. Boskovic handed the ball in to Rob. Shoots from three. Yes! And scores it! Rob Wright III just won it for BYU!
A buzzer-beating three in Game 1 of the Jimmy V Classic at the Garden. BYU stealing a 67-64 win from Clemson. DeBonsa adding 9 rebounds and 6 assists to those 28 points in the night.
Why do we have to call him the third? Or is Dad's famous? Like, can't we just call him Robert Wright? We used to debate this on Dan Patter's show. Who gets the junior? Who gets the third? Like, when do you have to do it? When do you not have to do it?
I think he wants us to. It's on. I think it's even said the 3 on his jersey.
I mean, that's a handful for an announcer, folks, right?
Yes.
The game-winning shot to have to say the third. Can't you just say at that point of the game? Can't you just call him Robert Wright?
My guess is they don't always say Wright the third.
That was for emphasis.
Yes. Especially the BYU guys probably just call him. Well, he actually said Rob at the start of it, so they might go first name. Yeah. Like, listen, I think he says into Rob.
With 1.3 to go. It's got to be quick. Boskovic handed the ball into Rob. Shoots from...
Yeah, into Rob.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's casual.
Yeah.
I mean, I called his dad Bob back in the day.
Robert, I'm trying to find who Robert O. Wright II is on Twitter. I mean, he only has 245 followers. So I don't think he's famous.
Well, to be honest, in this day and age, isn't every athlete the son of an athlete?
Yeah, I know.
That's what I assumed, but then I don't see anything. Like, and then the BYU bio says, "Oh, he's the son of Robert O. Wright II." I was like, "Oh, okay."
That clears it up.
But there's nothing else on Robert O. Wright II.
There's a lot of juniors in draft, and we often drop the junior. Very, very often.
Yeah, and then we get a curveball every once in a while when the guy has a son at a young age, and now he's senior.
Yeah,
And
there's a
he's
couple
playing.
seniors.
Also, what's the nonsense with the second or junior? Like, why do we have to be different?
Because that doesn't mean, because they're two different things. If you
Is that
name your
right?
son after your grandfather, he's the second. He's not junior. It's only father-son is junior, senior.
Glad you asked that question,
Look
Nico.
at
And I'm
that.
glad you
learn
explained it,
something new
folks.
every day.
Yeah.
Britannica bogus here.
I didn't think that was an unknown.
I thought it's like
thing.
the middle name. Something has to be first, middle, last has to be all the same.
That's
Can't
to
be
be
junior if you don't have the same middle name.
Right.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So the middle name does matter.
Yes, because like my uncle has the same is Robert Pearson. My grandfather was Robert Pearson, but they have a different middle name.
Got it.
There,
like me.
Just to educate Nico some more, there are 3 juniors who went in the first round of last year's NFL draft, and I did not know any of them were juniors. Did you know Kelvin Banks Jr. was a junior? Nope, probably not. Did you know that Josh Connerly was a junior and that James Pierce Jr., I think I might have heard that
Yeah.
one. But we drop all the juniors for them, but this guy, the third, is getting it full service.
What throws me off are the college players who go by the seniors. So I'm like, all right, well, your kid's an infant.
Yeah.
So your kid hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, we don't know if we're going to need to know the
Yeah,
kid.
I know, exactly.
It's really calling your shot for the kid.
Yeah, but now we have guys who are so old that it maybe their kids are.
Oh, man,
playing.
Tyler Shuck was like isn't he a father of 3?
Right, exactly.
Is he really?
No, I joke, but I think he's definitely got one.
Oh, there's
Hell,
tons of kids with tons of quarterbacks with dads.
Phillip Rivers, the OG.
Yeah.
His kid was like 3 when he got drafted.
Luther Burden is a 3.
Yes, he is.
LB3. There we go.
I learned yesterday Phil Rivers played against Chris Wenke, and I was like, I can't do this. He played a game against Chris Wenke.
Well,
And Chris
when did
Wenke was
Wenke
super old.
retire?
No, this was in college.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Florida State.
Yeah.
NC State freshman quarterback Phil Rivers played a game against Heisman Trophy winner Chris Wenke, and Phil Rivers is still playing in the NFL.
Well,
Kinda. Still in a practice squad.
We'll see if he gets on the field this week.
Pending. Status pending.
Nightcap at the Garden, number 5 UConn fought off 18th ranked Florida 77-73 behind 19 points from Solo Ball. I don't think we discussed this from Sunday.
Here's OG Anunoby inside. Oh, what a play from Blake. Oh! And Bain throws it off Anunoby. Anunoby shoves Bain.
The crowd erupting. Obviously, Bane wanted to save it and get possession, but he threw it like he was throwing a fastball.
And Mike Breen, he wasn't falling out of bounds. He didn't need to save the possession by throwing the ball off OG Anunoby at any speed. That's why the NBA fined Desmond Bane $35,000 for doing that. Last night, Bane scored 35 in Orlando's 117-108 win over Miami. They're now in the NBA Cup semifinal, where a six-figure check is possible.
Oh, it's huge, man. I mean, I just lost $35,000, so I gotta go get it back somehow.
And Saturday's semifinal in Vegas is a rematch with those Knicks, who were 117-101 winners in Toronto.
That was one of the most absurd plays I think I've ever seen on an NBA court.
Yeah.
He just fired it at the guy.
Yeah, he grabbed the rebound and just threw it like he was playing dodgeball.
Feet set, fully in bounds, on balance. Like, there was no need to do any of that.
He could have started a fast break.
Yeah.
We knew he's on the floor.
$35,000 is probably going to hit him right in the wallet. I mean, the guy's made, what, $20 million?
Well, you see, yesterday, Tyler Kolek said that Jalen Brunson, getting them into the quarterfinal got his mom like a car, I think, or a house or something.
That's cool.
So now Jalen Brunson's all right. Now I got to get something for Tyler Kolek's dad.
All of a sudden, Kolek's got 3 sisters, 2 brothers, a couple uncles, aunts. It is the holiday season.
We don't need any more gambling in situations. This is just make every game for money, and you'll see if guys really playing, right?
Aren't they already playing for money? It's called the paycheck.
Get more money.
You got to get a little on top of.
I mean, some of them are making so much money. I don't know how they would account for more money, but what's Jalen Brunson make a year?
He took
$35 million, I think. He took a little less, but
that was taking a pay cut. They're going to investigate Jalen Brunson for taking.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah,
crazy.
Jalen needs that money himself.
Yeah, I know. How's he going to feed his family with that $35 million?
No, he needs security to keep Manny away from him.
No, I mean,
he needs to build a moat around his house.
He's already feeding his family by having them employed by the team.
That's what I'm saying.
He's helping out everybody's parents. His own parents, Tyler Kolek's parents.
Honestly, let's just give him the Nobel Prize. It's
you got to vote for mayor.
Or that FIFA Peace Prize.
Oh, yeah.
Give him that bad boy.
What do you have to do? I don't want to know.
Not peace. Mike Tomlin says DK Metcalf should be able to play Monday night against the Dolphins after that health scare Sunday night. Metcalf was taken off the Steelers' flight home from Baltimore because of stomach pains. He was checked at a hospital, slept in a hotel, and got back home on Monday. And the Colorado Avalanche have the best record in the NHL, but they are now 0-4 in shootouts, 4-3 losers in Nashville last night. Guys, back to you.
Bogues, thanks so much. Coming up, this is insufferable. If we have to listen to it, we think you should have to listen to it because misery loves company. All right, Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break.
The Chiefs are at it again, down by some shit. Clock's ticking down, fans losing their wit. Mahomes in the huddle, grinning like a badass, ready to pull off another win, kicking ass. Another fucking close game. The Chiefs pull it out, defense hanging on by the skin of their snout. But Mahomes and Kelsey dropping jaws on the grass, always fucking coming through. Thomas Smith couldn't help it, he let it slip. Tarvin took a hit, felt his nuts rip. Sprained his fucking nuts, twisted him tight, but came back in the game, ready to fight. He sprained his fucking... Nico's at the helm, but it's a sinking ship. He's running the board, but it's a constant trip. He's leading during breaks, it's a recurring theme. But the real problem's Peter, the one who's MIA, it seems. Peter Bellotti, where did you go? You're supposed to be working, but nobody knows. You're leaving Nico to deal with the stress, but he's not doing great, what a mess. Maggie and Perloff, they're trying to keep it tight. But Nico's mistakes are making it a long.
Pine Needles wakes up at dawn. Coffee brewing, screen turned on. He's got a favorite show to see, the Maggie and Perloff Symphony. Oh, living life in 20-second views, scrolling through, he's got no time to lose. Maggie and Perloff, Daily's keeping score, YouTube's his love. He's begging for more, double tap, clicking on that video. From sunrise to sunset, he never lets it go. Maggie snappy, Perloff's got a glow. Daily's hooked, he's looking for the show. Chasing trends, Daily's on a quest. Comments pouring in, he's one of the best. From every corner of the internet's reach. Daily's voice.
Pop Oil's got a secret, it's tucked away. Hidden cameras in his place, recording all day. When his date walks in, they don't know the deal. They're part of his own reality reel. Oh, Pop's got a show, but no one's aware.
Won the game, Alec Willis led the way, throwing downs and running fast, make defenders pay. But we all know the real story ain't the win or play. It's Bellotti steak, back day, you'll dodge another day with the meat. We're all starving here, promised us some ribeyes, but you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Bellotti's MIA, many always hit it. Some ribeyes, but you always disappear. Stakes on the line, but you're off the grid. Lowry's MIA, many always hit.
All right, got a couple stories here coming out of Los Angeles. First one is the Dodgers. To the victor goes the spoils, and boy, are they really testing that. Kind of feels a little like overkill to me, but Pearl, this is nothing new. It's the haves and the have-nots in baseball, and the Dodgers yesterday made a big move, which was getting Edwin Diaz in free agency to sign a 3-year, $69 million year contract. It's the highest average annual value for a closer in the history of the sport, but still a little bit less than I thought he was going to get. If we're being honest with ourselves, $23 million. It's a lot for a closer. Only very minimal deferments, like $4.5 million. And obviously, it's going to affect the Dodgers to some extent because they're like repeat violators of the luxury tax. But what do they care? You know, this is a 2-time defending World Series champs going for the three-peat. And the one thing that really almost stymied them last year was the back end of the bullpen. Think about it.
Yeah.
How many times did we see starters having to come into the games, not just the 18-inning game in the World Series, but Game 7 of the World Series? I mean, they threw the kitchen sink. If they had just had a closer who they could rely on, they may have just breezed through the playoffs. And Tanner Scott is a guy they had signed to like a $75 million deal last year, but he had a over 4 ERA and eventually lost the closer job.
Yeah, actually, was there any thought of moving Sasaki to that role, by the way? Because he was awesome.
Well, but they want him in the rotation.
Yeah, I know, but their
crazy.
rotation's so crazy already. I just think that I was curious about that.
No, that was just either an instance of the Dodgers being so smart that they knew that Rokai Sasaki was going to be able to all of a sudden be in the bullpen after never doing anything like that.
Oh, he had never done that before?
No,
Okay.
and then he came in and he was great for them. So either they're smarter than everyone or that was an instance of them just getting a little lucky.
Maggie, I know you're following this closely. I actually had this instant reaction to both that signing and Kyle Schwarber signing with the Phillies.
Yeah.
That the numbers didn't seem crazy to me in the sense that maybe I thought baseball just went up and up and up every year. Are those deals a little more modest than some might have expected?
To me, the Diaz deal is more modest. First of all,
not the Schwarber though.
Schwarber to me, for a 33-year-old only DH, and granted, he's coming off this incredible season where he could have won MVP if Shohei Ohtani wasn't alive. But I mean, how's he going to age? Like, how's he going to age? You know, that's 5 years at $30 million per. You can't play him in the field, which means what do you do as Bryce Harper continues to age? And Bryce is going to place first now, obviously, but at some point you were probably hoping to put Bryce Harper in that DH spot, and now that's completely clogged up by Kyle Schwarber. But
I mean, we're coming off an offseason before where I know it's a different story altogether, but Juan Soto signed a $700 million deal, and then you get a guy who's in the top 3 in MVP voting for 5 years, 150. I don't know. It just seems like, okay, this is not going to kill the Phillies because in 5 years, that'll be a rather modest contract.
Sure, if you think, and he's perfect for that ballpark. And obviously, you know, I don't know if he would have had the same success if he was in Citi Field.
But he's always been pretty good, you know, back in the day. And even the closer contract for Diaz, I'm like, why? I mean, that seems like a great deal. I'm sure a lot of teams are. But closers are hot and cold.
It's the high volatility.
Yeah.
But listen, this is an instance where, forget the volatility, the risk, whatever. This was an instance where Diaz turned his back on the Mets. Or the Mets ruined the relationship with him. I don't know who's in the right and who's in the wrong here. But either Diaz may have been ticked off that they went and signed Devin Williams and kind of like held his feet to the fire a little bit or tried to get a little leverage on him maybe. Or Diaz maybe always wanted to go to the Dodgers because he never gave the Mets an opportunity to make a last and final. You know, he went to the Dodgers. The Mets gave him an offer of 3 years, $66 million, but with some deferrals and said, you know, we do have room to go up. He got 3 years, $69 million for the Dodgers and never even went back to the Mets to get more. I think he wanted to be gone.
Maybe he did, but I just think that's letting Steve Cohen and especially David Stearns off the hook. This is on them.
Yeah,
because
no, they botched this.
Yeah, why are you nickel and diming the best closer in the game? Like, you are the Mets. Like, it shouldn't be hey, we can go up more. Like, there is no negotiating with Edwin Diaz. He's all you have in your bullpen. He's one of the few bright spots from last season. You say, here's 4 years, here's 85, 90 million.
Yeah, well, they don't
want to, or do you want to come back?
That would have been really blowing this thing away. I agree with you. I think that David Stearns has the blind spot here of he loves Devin Williams.
That's a problem.
It's a problem. Well, it's not a problem if Devin Williams can actually find his stuff again like he did in Milwaukee when Stearns was the GM there. And he was one of the best closers in baseball. Hell, he got the Yankees to change their facial hair policy for him. And then he came to New York and he stunk. But you know what? Maybe after 1 year understanding what this particular fishbowl is like and maybe this particular situation, maybe he finds it again and it looks like the Mets got a deal. But I don't love the process. I'll agree with you there.
I just think for baseball fans, this is the one where it's going to look annoying to see the Dodgers get another great player. But if you're a baseball fan who hates the Dodgers, today you should actually hate the Mets. Because the Mets were supposed to be the next evil empire. They were supposed to be a team that doesn't get outspent. And yet here we are again, the Dodgers outspending the Mets for another star player.
But this has Kevin Durant vibes.
Wait, let me ask you a question though. Is it the money or is it there's something else though, right? Isn't that what you were implying, that Diaz just didn't want to be a Met? He wanted to be
I think it's possible that he did not want to be a Met anymore.
Yeah.
But I think the Mets are the ones that turned him off.
Yes,
Whether
I
it's because
agree.
they
Is it
signed
negotiations
Williams
or just-
beforehand
Yeah.
or the negotiations, because we're seeing the same thing with Alonso too.
Alonso is another debacle.
It's not, I'm just saying it's not about the money. Schwarber took less money to go with the Phillies. So I think that maybe the same thing happened with Diaz.
But this idea that, like, the Dodgers get every great player, like, this was avoidable. Like, some of those other situations, like, maybe it was just unavoidable that those guys were going to join the Dodgers. It feels like this one, I'm sorry, if you're a baseball fan, you hate the Dodgers, you should be pointing your finger at the Mets saying, how the hell did you screw this up?
Well, Diaz first came into this and said, I want the same contract that I got the last time around, which was 5 years, $100 million. And the Mets said no to that. And I understand, because even the Dodgers aren't willing to go 5 years. I don't know why the Mets wouldn't have been willing to go to 4. And I think, like, why? Diaz is not, he's in his 30s, but he's not an old 30 at all. And I think that, closers, there's got closers out there 38 years old who still are throwing gas. I'm not worried about the age. This is what makes me think that Diaz may have had his heart set. And the fact that the Dodgers were smart and brought Diaz's brother into the organization last year just to show him how good it is. maybe they felt like the brother did the recruiting for them.
That's brilliant.
And that's where David Stearns and them got a little oopsie-dooped.
Can Ronald Acuna find his way on the Mets then? Because we got this little brother out there playing
Luis
all
Angel.
these minutes. Yeah. Like, I mean.
Who they should trade.
Can we get him over here?
That'd be nice.
It'd be really nice. I've been waiting for this to happen, and somehow I'm losing Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers now.
Did you guys see
Can we get Acuna to the Mets?
Did you see the Pirates outbid the Phillies for Schwarber? That's amazing.
Yeah, the Pirates are trying to do this thing.
I can't. Schwarber's probably my favorite player of all time in baseball now. He's like a softball player playing baseball. Give him the money.
All right. Coming up next, the great debate.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Well, just how desperate are the Indianapolis Colts to find a quarterback? They are calling out 44-year-old Philip Rivers to come save the day. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Philip Rivers has not thrown a pass in the NFL in 5 years.
Yep.
He's currently a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. That's how far in the rearview mirror his playing career is. And he's older than 13 head coaches currently coaching in the NFL. The 8-5 Colts have already now gone through 2 injured quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. Now their third quarterback, Riley Leonard, has a knee injury. So Shane Steichen is calling out old reliable Philip Rivers.
That's amazing. He's older than Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen's 40. They have a brain meld. They share the same brain football wise. So at least here, will you admit, I know you think this is all kind of silly and ridiculous. Will you admit that at least he knows the offense? That's something you can hold on to. But you can't just pull a guy out of nowhere on a Tuesday and say, here's my offense.
No, I get it. But the muscle memory or knowing the offense, I think, is only going to take you so far when you have not seen live action in this amount of time. Apparently, the workout went very well, except for, obviously, Philip Rivers is not in game shape. And why would he be? Because he's been coaching high school football and raising a bunch of kids for the last few years. To me, here's the thing. If I told you, what do you think the odds are that Philip Rivers, this becomes a Disney movie and he saves the season?
None.
So why are we even doing it, right? Is it just our curiosity? This is such a Hail Mary, no pun intended, from the Colts to try to do anything? The chances that it works are so slim. That's why I'm like, why go through the trouble of him coming back where he could get really hurt out there if he's not protected?
I don't know. I hear what you're saying. Maybe none was too harsh. Maybe 0.1%.
Wow,
I think
how nice of you.
I think the fact that he knows the offense is a big deal. So might as well. I mean, I'm not as worried as you guys are that he's going to get majorly injured. And if I was worried about that, I'm much more worried about the Texans game when he's 2 weeks in, because I think they'll be very conservative. He's going to drop back 10 times or 15 times and throw passes. Right? I mean, they're not going to do a Flacco and have him sling it 35 times.
Well, that's the thing. We always thought with Joe Flacco, he'll go out there and throw 15, 16 passes, 42 pass attempts later.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
Well,
he got the Browns in the playoffs at 38, and even now, it still looks good. The passes are gorgeous.
Yeah, but the thing about Flacco, what he did with the I guess, sort of a miracle with the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago, is Flacco had been on NFL rosters. He had been in NFL training camps, doing the NFL training. Philip Rivers, I don't know what he does if he has any personal time, like what his workouts are like, but they're not going to be anywhere close to what you need for the NFL. Here's the thing, though. If it's going to be anyone, I can understand Rivers wanting to do it because that guy's nuts. He was nuts when he played. He was always the gambler. He was intense as anyone, screaming, yelling. Like, I get it. The football is never going to leave you, right? Like, you can take that guy out of football, but you're never going to take football out of the guy. But even this, to me, seems like a disaster waiting to happen. And the last time the Colts went sort of this outside the box with a decision, very different, the Jeff Saturday decision. All right, we're going to go outside the box. We're going to bring back a legend. He knows us. The same thing you're saying. He knows us. He knows the culture. We need this guy. Well, you know what? It was desperation. There was a little bit of a peak when they beat the Raiders. And then Jeff Saturday, that whole situation turned into a laughingstock. And I think Philip Rivers, people are tuning in partly because there's just curiosity. And I think they're wondering if he's going to fall flat on his face.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I hope if he fell flat on his face, it won't be so embarrassing. It certainly won't affect his Hall of Fame candidacy. I was looking, a couple guys. Kurt Warner almost came back at 43 to the Cardinals and did not. Troy Aikman, it was way out of his career. I remember he almost came back. He said that he almost came out of retirement in 2003 to join the Dolphins. So this is a thing. I mean, because quarterback is just different. It's a different position.
Right, but you're talking about guys who thought about it and didn't do it.
I
This
mean,
is
Warner,
Rivers is in Indianapolis
Kurt Warner
today.
said that he would have done it. They never called him. I just think that. And by the way, I bet you Brady's had a lot of thoughts in his second half of his 40s. I bet you he's had a lot of thoughts. I just think quarterback's a different position where obviously you're not as speed reliant, or athleticism reliant as the other positions. And if things go well, you're not going to have as much physical contact as the other position. So it's not like offensive line where you have to collide with a guy who, by the way, another position I think you can play till you're pretty old, but you're not going to have to collide with a guy on every play. Hopefully you just hand the ball off a lot.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's not like playing middle linebacker. Like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, cornerback or anything. Yeah.
Sure. But I think we're also then kind of selling short the demands of the position. And,
obviously not. A 44-year-old guy's coming off the couch.
Well, first of all, we haven't seen whether it's worked or not, And right now he's on practice squad, so we don't know what's the deal. Because if Riley Leonard is healthy enough to play, you imagine he would play, right? But you're not bringing Phillip Rivers to sit on the bench.
He might. I mean, I think Riley Leonard is iffy because of the knee. But I tell you, I mean, there are two. What's the oldest position on the field will be the kicker. The kicker you can play really old, but the second oldest is quarterback. There's a reason that you can play into your 40s because it's not as physically demanding as the other positions. There's very, very few other stats except for Jerry Rice at any other position over 40. Quarterbacks can play into their 40s. It's them and kickers. That's about it.
Yeah, I also think that the guys who are playing really old quarterbacks, like in their 40s, like Pittsburgh Steelers and, what the Browns were doing with Joe Flacco, like they weren't the first option. These are like plan Bs. What was he like?
What was their first option?
And should he have been? I guess is another question. I think that people look at the Steelers, and we'll see what happens. They might make the playoffs with a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. But I think people were looking at that just 1 week ago. Just 1 week ago, the loss to the Bills, and saying they mismanaged the offseason because you have Aaron Rodgers back.
No, I don't think the Steelers had any other option. I mean, was Aaron Rodgers or what, Mason Rudolph?
Yeah, so it's not like they were choosing.
Yeah,
I mean, they were, but it was not because they had all these choices. They're like, we're gonna, instead of going with the 27-year-old guy, we're gonna go with the 42-year-old.
Right. That's the thing. And by the way, same thing's going to happen to Pittsburgh this offseason. There's nothing out there for them. They're not high enough to draft once again and rinse, wash, repeat with the Steelers.
Well, maybe Phillip Rivers really shows them something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, listen. Nobody thought Favre was coming back and having an MVP year at 39. Not that Rivers are going to do that, but I do think older quarterbacks have value. Definitely. Like, you could just hit gold with a 40-year-old all the time.
But Favre wasn't out of football.
Right. No, I know. I'm just saying.
It's so different.
I'm saying it's a much different position than any other position. You definitely can play way older.
I'd love to hear from the audience. 888-710-4ISN. Do you think this is going to make an impact on the Colts season? All right, let's get to the great debate.
The Great Debate Series.
All right, we do this every Wednesday at this time, and we do something loosely based on the news. And Pearl, it was only, 48 hours ago that Jalen Hurts was involved in what we believe might be one of the most embarrassing plays of all time. It was an interception that turned into a fumble that Jalen Hurts then recovered, that he then fumbled away. 2 turnovers by the same person in the same play. You just don't see that kind of thing. It got us to thinking. What is the most embarrassing play in sports history? Why don't you start us off?
Okay. Can I do a runner-up real quick?
No.
I'm doing a runner-up. Okay. There's a list that, I don't know, you Google most embarrassing plays, and there's a list on Yardbarker that comes up. I know because we've done versions of this before. And the first play is an incredible story about a player named Fred Merkle on the New York Giants who failed to touch second base, and the crowd ran onto the field, and someone found the ball and tagged him out. Do you know what that play was called?
No.
That was called Merkel's Boner.
Oh,
we've done this before on the show.
We've done this before.
Yeah.
Oh, we have talked about it. I just love
talked about
Once
that.
I heard Merkel's boner, I was like, I can't forget that one.
Yeah, no, I know. I was looking at the list last night. I'm like, let's bring back Merkel's boner.
I forgot everything else about it except for those 2 words.
Yeah, of course. So I just want to throw that out there to entertain the audience. If there are any kids in the car, I apologize for using the B word.
Well,
Okay.
And now a parent might have a lot of explaining to do.
I hope not. Okay. I'm going to pick actually Jim Marshall running the wrong way, one of the most famous plays in NFL history.
I had made, the biggest mistake you could probably make in a football game.
Kilmer driving for the first down, loses the football. It's picked up by Jim Marshall, who's running the wrong way. Marshall is running the wrong way, and he's running it into the end zone the wrong way. Thinks he scored a touchdown. He has scored a safety.
One of the 49er players came up and said, "Thanks, Jim," or something to that effect. You knew right away, well, you really messed up this time.
Yeah.
Jim, you ran the wrong way.
October 25th, 1964. Marshall was a really good player, 2-time Pro Bowler, part of the Purple People Eaters. They actually won that game, so it's not that tragic. Can you imagine, Maggie, if that play happened in the modern social media era?
No, it's just so the funniest part about the play always to me is trying to get inside his head, wondering, why is there all this green grass in front of me? Like, this is the easiest score. This is the easiest play I'm ever going to have in my life, not knowing that, obviously.
Right. I also love how happy he looked. Like, that's, and there are a lot of plays, like, yeah, exactly. Like, how proud he was of himself. I'm like, yes, look at me, big lineman running in. I'm glad they won the game. I'm glad. He didn't even seem that sad. I mean, he had a great career, so it's all good.
You know, this once happened in a youth basketball game that my brother was playing in. And his kid
youth basketball.
scored on the wrong basket.
Oh, my God.
And my mom and I still laugh about it to this day.
Yeah, that happens every other weekend in youth basketball. Like, I coached, I refereed you little kids. It's so funny.
Well,
every
they weren't
time.
that little. It was like middle school. But still, that's pretty little. I don't know. My mom and I, to this day, we always talk about the kid. I won't say his name on air because, he doesn't deserve that. But,
I think Eric will be okay.
You remember his name?
Yes, we know his parents.
God.
I'm from a small town. I ran into him once in New York City and was like, the guy who
Did you
scored
say
on
it
the
to
wrong
him?
basket.
And he said, don't mention that play on air, Maggie.
Oh, man. So funny. Okay, the most embarrassing play in sports history. To me, I'm going to take the layup here, guys. Not in the wrong basket. I'm going to take the layup because this has now become shorthand for the most embarrassing play. I present the butt fumble.
First and 10, New York at their own 31-yard line. Broken play. Mark Sanchez scrambles up the middle. Lost the football. It's picked up and running into the end zone to Steve Gregory.
You know how they say run the daylight? Nobody ever told Mark Sanchez about running the daylight. Because where he ran, trust me, there is no daylight.
He ran right to the back, but Brandon Moore fumbled the ball.
That's what he will forever be associated with. Like my dad always says, paint 1,000 paintings, no one will ever call you an artist. Do one butt fumble, and you're a butt fumbler for life.
Narrator, Mark Sanchez might be known for another thing. But anyway, butt fumble. I actually feel for Brandon Moore here, Pearl. He was just a very good offensive guard who was on this great offensive line for the Jets at the time with future Hall of Famers. And he was just living his life like as a very good offensive lineman. Now he's forever the butt of the butt fumble.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You want to be the butt, though, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's better than the other
than being the
side.
Sanchez.
Definitely better. Definitely better.
This is what people don't remember about the butt fumble. So the butt fumble happened on Thanksgiving, which makes it even worse because obviously it was a huge audience. You're playing the Patriots, who had been kicking the division's butt for 20 years, or was on their, was in this run of just unbelievable dominance. Even though the Jets had a couple years where they kind of gave them a run for their money. The final score was 49-19. The first quarter was scoreless. This was a 0-0 tie. The Jets actually held the ball for 12 minutes out of the possible 15 in the second quarter, but the butt fumble was only one of 3 fumbles that were all returned for touchdowns that happened in that quarter. The score at the half was 35-3. They scored 35 points in the second quarter, and the butt fumble is just one of the fumbles that happened.
I did not know that.
The most memorable. I know. No one remembers that part.
But there's no names to the other fumbles.
Yeah. You're right. We should go and rename them. All right, we're asking, great debate today, the most embarrassing play in sports. EJ, go ahead.
Most of you guys will have embarrassing plays that are definitely embarrassing, but they're one-offs. The guy I'm picking is the Michael Jordan of embarrassing plays, and that is one Leon Lett on Thanksgiving.
It's a 41-yarder. It's a first down kick, and it's blocked. It's blocked and rolling around at the 10-yard line.
You can see the ball spinning around on the white snow. And everybody's saying, get away, Peter, meaning stay away from the ball, stay away from the ball. And all of a sudden you see one white jersey with a star on it come running out of nowhere.
Yes! Leon Lett! Oh, my goodness gracious.
I love the way Emmitt Smith tells that story. The ball is just slowing on the slow. And all of a sudden, one guy with that damn Cowboy jersey runs and tries to grab the ball. And the announcers, oh, no, it's Leon Lett again. And they said Leon Lett again because the previous Super Bowl against Maggie's Bills, he had another all-time embarrassing play as he's trying to run the ball in the end zone and he's showboating and he let the ball out and Don Beebe knocked it out of his hands. Then now you come back about, 10 months later and he makes this embarrassing play where a blocked field goal by the Dolphins is going to allow the Cowboys to win the game, and he instead tries to recover it, which becomes a Dallas fumble. Dolphins recover, and they end up winning the game. And what's funny about this is a lot of people felt bad for Leon Lett, including one little girl in Dallas who tried to make him feel better.
A girl from one of the schools had sent him a note and said, gosh, Leon, don't worry about it. Last year during the Super Bowl, there was this guy that was going in to score a touchdown and had the ball ripped out of his hands right before he scored.
Oh.
So don't worry about it. People make mistakes all the time. They happen to be the same guy.
I mean, that's Bill Bates, another Cowboys great, talking about that story. I mean, Leon Lett, you're a legend.
Wow.
You are my pick for the great debate today.
Amazing. We're asking what's the most embarrassing play in sports. Nico's in for Manny today. Nico, what do you have?
All right, November 20th, 1982, the Stanford Cardinal take the lead with 4 seconds left on a field goal. They send the kickoff away. They think they've won the game, but not so fast.
I'm in a perfect position for Moretz over the shoulder, and here came the ball floating down. And, look up, and there's a band.
We're running like crazy, trying to get to midfield. And we were clearly pretty early, one of the first on the field.
We just took off. And I remember I wanted to be at the front of the pack. And I was wearing this cone head. Oh no, the play is not over.
Just an unbelievable moment. Poor John Elway, that ended up being his last ever college football game because the loss for Stanford kept them from becoming bowl eligible. So just an embarrassing moment for the entire Stanford Cardinal band.
Yeah.
Wait, it's embarrassing
Whatever
for the
happened to
band?
that guy? No.
Yeah. I mean,
it
it's
was embarrassing for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Nico,
Yeah.
I also love the fact that you weren't born in 82, 92. Were you even born in 2002?
I was born in 99.
Oh, pardon me. Okay. And the fact that you went pulled back into history that way, proud of you, man. All right. Andrew Bogish, take us home.
Well, I'm not sure if a baby Nico saw my suggestion, but I think this is the only one with an actual true victim. This is the 2000 Sydney Olympics, and it is Vince Carter versus Frederick Weiss.
In the first game against the Americans, what happened in that game?
Meant fly. Vince Carter jump over me was like, it's not a jump. He was flying.
I just remember taking 1-2 dribbles and I see the big fella standing there. I said, get up before he gets up to block my shot. Never in my life did I think that I would be able to jump over a human being at whatever height.
I closed my eyes first when he jumped over me. And when I opened my eye, I was like, okay, not a big deal, nothing happened. So after I watched the big screen, I said, oh, baby, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. One man jumping over a 7-foot other man and literally jumping over him and putting him in this shame, embarrassment, Hall of Fame for eternity. You know, Leon Lett, Jim Marshall, the band, they did this to themselves. Frederick Weiss was just trying to play basketball, and Vince Carter swooped over the top of him.
It's amazing how humble Carter is about it, right? He's like, I wasn't expecting. I always assumed Vince Carter was like, oh, I'm like saw his spot. I was like, I'm going to make a moment.
Yeah, no, just jumped over a human being.
That
wasn't me.
Favorite player, favorite play. I love everything about it.
Terrible
it's so
haircut.
audacious.
Terrible haircut for Vince Carter in 2000.
Yeah, no, he definitely had a down. I mean, it never really took off after Toronto. But
Vince Carter had hair?
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're asking, what is the most embarrassing play in sports? That's the great debate for today. So we got plenty of good options for you there. To be honest, Pearl, I mean, nothing's going to top Merkel's
boner. Can we
Yeah.
put that on the polls?
Have you ever heard those two words
Nico
together?
just passed out.
I know he's
For all the
responsible
dirty
for the
jokes
board
there.
today.
Yeah, it's just the name Merkel is funny already.
Yeah.
You're already in the
Merkel's
funny.
already a funny name.
Merkel, anything is going to make me giggle.
And by the way, everything from 1908 in baseball is hysterical. Like it was a wild scene back then. Everyone had bizarre names like Lefty LaRue, and there was always a scandal or some mysterious woman involved. Like that was a sport, man. If they had social media for back when Honus Wagner was rocking,
well, he wouldn't have survived.
No, yeah, everyone
Been
knows.
canceled a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had that debate before. Would Honus Wagner have translated
Oh,
well
wait,
to
I'm
the
sorry.
social media era?
I think I might have just did a Honus Wagner Ty Cobb
Yeah,
swap.
Ty Cobb has not aged well.
I can't speak to Honus Wagner's personality or morality, but Ty Cobb would not have done well on Instagram in 1908.
No.
Tris Speaker's TikTok would have been fire. But what are the names? We should do a deep dive into how people were named, what they had names, and Honus, Tris. What is Tris?
What I thought all these was that, we talked about juniors and the thirds and all of that. I think the people, first of all, had lots of kids, so you had to come up with a lot of names.
You just ran out of them?
That's a good point. That's a good question.
I think so.
That's how
And-
you got Scooter Magoo.
Right, when you're like kid 13, James is no longer an option.
And then I think you have a lot of everyone's named after the same couple people, and then you got to do nicknames to differentiate.
And the names are funny. In the year 1900, the leading hitter was Honus Wagner. Number 2 was Elmer Flick. I mean, come on. That's awesome. And then you had Wee Willie Keeler.
But Elmer was like Jason back then. I mean, that's how ubiquitous it was.
Nap LaJoy, who's a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
too. What?
Nap.
What's his name? Is it Napoleon?
I think
guess?
it actually is Napoleon.
Then there's a guy named Mike Donlin. That'll work. Yeah, the Patsy Donovan. Oh, man, our names stink right now. There's a name, Boiler Yard Clark. Huh. Yeah, he was an all-star. There you go. Anyway, Merkel's boner. Vote for it.
And you can vote at Maggie and Pearl on X, the most embarrassing play of all time. What do you got? 888-710-4ISN.
I got to tell you, Maggie, back in the day, you could have picked Honus Wagner in Prize Picks. I would have done that because he would have done more than in Prize Picks. It's so simple to use.
Yeah.
You pick 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their stat projections. And right now, you can keep the season rolling by getting $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's really great this time of year because there's so many different sports going on. You had a great college basketball last night, NBA. I guess it was that silly cup thing, but you could still play Prize Picks and have a great time.
Okay, yesterday, well, let's just say I have some improvements I need to make today. So
Okay.
I'm going with a couple sure things, Pearl. Sure things,
All right.
in my opinion. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 31.5 points. Give me more then.
Definitely.
I mean, who doesn't love old Shea Gilgeous? And he's just fantastic. And tonight, Oklahoma City is playing against the Suns. So more than 35.5. And I'm going to pair it up with just Old Faithful, Anze Kopitar. Let's just go with the guys I know. 1.5 shots on goal. Give me more than for the LA Kings superstar. So there we go. Download the Prize Picks app today. So simple. Use the code MNP. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks. You get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're in a 4-minute break. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Baby girl, let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl. Shaking in the club with your homegirls. Take a pic for the gram, show the whole world. Yeah. Is that your bestie? I'm an ice.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff Show. Apropos song for today's great debate, because we led the great debate with Merkel's boner.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
No, the great debate is most embarrassing play in sports history. I went with Jim Marshall, Vikings defensive player running the wrong way and scoring a touchdown. Maggie?
I went with the butt fumble, the OG now, the shorthand for embarrassing plays. EJ?
I went with Leon Lett fumbling a blocked field goal.
Nico?
The Stanford band running out onto the field before the game was over.
Amazing. And Bogish went with Vince Carter dunking over Frederick Weiss. So I guess for Weiss, this was a super embarrassing moment for him. For Vince, it was
the ultimate posterization.
Legendary, I know. PJ's in Atlanta has one we missed. Good morning, PJ.
Yeah, Garo Yepremian, Super Bowl VII, tried to throw it after he got the block kick.
Mike Bass, who was his teammate in Detroit the year before, ran it back. And yeah, that was you only see it on NFL films, but yeah, that was a gaffe.
PJ, I brought it up yesterday after the Jalen Hurts play. I said to Maggie, "There's more embarrassing plays. What about that guy in the Super Bowl who was trying to kick a field goal?"
Yeah,
and
he's Greek, so he was hungry. He wanted a salad.
He was good, right? He was I know he wasn't quite Hall of Fame, but he was a big time kicker, right? As I recall,
well,
PJ?
wasn't he the kicker on the 72 Dolphins?
Yeah, that's the play.
Yeah, right. Right. That's a play, of course.
Yeah. Hello.
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 No, the reason why I was thinking about this is because we've been doing the Maggie and Perloff King of the Mountain project, and so the 72 Dolphins.
85 Bears. They won the whole thing.
Thank you, PJ. They're currently the Kings, still 85 Bears. But I remember looking at that play because we were doing King of the Mountain. That's what I was just double checking.
Yeah. Gary Premium, he was a 2-time All-Pro, very good kicker, kicked a long time. But that was not good. By the way, that's often an embarrassing player when a kicker or a punter has to try and make a play. That often ends up in the embarrassing category.
Oh, I mean, that's how Tony Romo could end up on this list.
Yeah.
If he wanted to. He was the holder.
Well, I'm talking about when a guy who can't throw a pass tries to throw a pass. Like
it's just awful.
Well, you might have the punter be a holder, and he's like, oh, my God, what am I going to do here? And that happened, by the way, Quinshon Judkins on the Browns.
Yep.
That was an embarrassing play. They did a trick
2-point
play,
conversion,
and he tried to throw it out of nowhere. When a non-quarterback throws, it's always good.
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. There's another one. EJ said pick Leon Lett, and the fact that he has 2 very embarrassing moments means he's probably like, I feel like J.R. Smith is also kind of in the Leon Lett territory.
Sure.
J.R. Smith not knowing the score of the game 1, NBA Finals, where LeBron played the game of his life to try to get the Cleveland Cavaliers a 1-0 lead against the Warriors. I think they either got swept in that series or they only won 1 game. I think they may have gotten swept in that one.
I think that one they got swept.
That's the one they got swept in. I think game 1 was the only prayer that they had because the Warriors were such a juggernaut then. So,
I mean, it's no Merkel's boner, but it was a big deal.
Meanwhile, Richie in Queens wants to talk about something else that's not the most embarrassing play ever, but certainly embarrassing that the Mets have lost out on Edwin Diaz. He's now going to the Dodgers. Richie, this is a disaster.
Yeah, it is. And, embarrassing plays. I picked the Marshall play, too. I thought, and the premium play was in the Super Bowl. That's the only way. I mean, Washington only got 7 points, and they were totally dominated until he made that incredible dumb trying to pass it. One of the most unathletic things you've ever seen. The other thing that I thought about was the Canseco ball that hit him on the head and went over for a home run.
So
that's the first
amazing.
time I ever saw that. Yeah, so, there's a lot of it. And when you talk about embarrassing moments, guys, and sports, I always think of, related to sports, was the Joe Namath debacle with the girl with the interview.
With Susie Colbert, that
was so embarrassing.
Yep.
Yeah, real quick, Mag, I just got back from her. She had a great time. I mentioned to you that last week.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It's so beautiful for Christmas. So had a real great time. With the Edwin Diaz, I've been on this bandwagon with him, with the Mets. I mean, everybody talks about they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and you touched on it. If these people don't want to come here, they have no control. They have no third baseman, center fielder, left fielder. Alvarez is a question. Alonso's not signed. They just lost Diaz. Minaya and Sanger are not even part of the rotation.
Yep.
So you could say whatever you want with this team at this point. But they lost it to the Dodgers. And by the way, Mag, I'm a big Giant fan, San Francisco Giant.
Yeah.
I hate the word to use the word hate. But God, they are so far ahead of being the evil empire. But yeah, I think at this point, the Trevor Williams thing, the Williams signing, I think that was part of it.
Yep.
Devin Williams. And so, I just think that right now they're in a free fall. Oh, he's going to spend a lot of money. He's going to do this and do that. Well, right now there's so many empty gaps. So I've got a lot of work to do, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
Richie,
you.
they've got a lot of work to do. And meanwhile, just to do one more Mets thing because he was an all-star, Jeff McNeil, who everyone thought is on 100% on the trade block. Now, yesterday, the GM for the Mets is saying, well, he's going to play a lot of left field. Like, fantastic. And obviously I'm dripping with sarcasm there because he should be a second baseman, but he and Francisco Lindor can't get along well enough for him to actually play second base, so they had to trade a stalwart of the team for Marcus Semien. Anyway, let's do great debate. Congrats to the Dodgers, by the way. It's a little overkill. The most embarrassing plays of all time, Pearl. That's our great debate. And Richie just brought up an amazing one. When the ball bounced off of Jose Canseco's dome.
High fly ball, right field deep. Canseco back to the track, looking up. It is off his head, it looked like. And over the top, a home run. That looked like it hit Canseco over the top of the head. We'll have to check the replay. Oh, it did. Back to the wall. He looks like he's checking the wall. He's checking the ball. Checking the wall and the ball. Reaches up. Hits him right in the head. He goes over the top.
It hit Canseco in the head and bounced over the wall for a homer.
You hear the fireworks going off. They were in Cleveland. The fireworks are the best part.
They were like, hey, we don't know when we're going to use fireworks, but if it happens to hit somebody in the head, goes over the top, that's the play to do it. And they fired them off, baby.
Oh, man, that's so good. 1993, May 26, 1993. Was it Martinez, right? It was... we got to hit the home run right off of Jose Canseco's coconut, right into the
Carlos
stands.
Martinez.
Carlos Martinez, thank you. Amazing.
Jose Canseco looks so lost playing outfield. He just looks like he should have been DHing 2 years earlier, probably.
Yep. All right, let's get to Bogish with headlines. What's up?
And let's go right back to those Mets. So Edwin Diaz goes to the Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber stays with the Phillies. What happens next to Pete Alonso? He's expected to meet with multiple teams, but maybe not the Mets at the winter meetings this week in Orlando. Here's his agent, Scott Boras, being lame.
The polar vortex of last year is kind of thawed. So, this market is, that prior bear market is exhausted. So now we kind of have the running of the bulls in Tamplusa.
We don't have that. We do not have that. Somewhere in there, Boras referencing last winter when Alonso could not get the huge deal he wanted, re-signed with the Mets, exercised his option out of that deal, and now back on the open market here. Meanwhile, who knew there was an MLB draft lottery, but the White Sox won it last night. The Rockies, historically bad this season, but could not get the top pick because they've been in this lottery the last 2 years. They will pick number 10 instead. This lottery only decides the first 6 choices, so the Rays, Twins, Giants, Pirates, and Royals all follow the White Sox.
So Maggie and EJ, you guys both fashion yourselves as conspiracy theory experts on how you fix a lottery. Explain how this one was fixed. Because every lottery is fixed.
I'm the NBA lottery. I don't know what baseball's doing.
They're just, the White Sox have just been so bad. Maybe they actually, I don't know.
I'm kidding. You guys are taking that question way too seriously. They're not fixing the MLB lottery. Bogues has said he didn't even know it was a thing. I can't believe you're actually trying to.
Well, I really want to give you a little thought there.
Yeah, he means like you're so adamant that the NBA lottery is fixed, that the MLB lottery, and even though the draft doesn't even really matter like that.
This is the problem with the MLB lottery. At least in the NBA, like you get LeBron James, Patrick Ewing, any of these ones that we thought were rigged, like it does change your franchise for the next 20 plus years. MLB, who the heck knows? Sometimes you get Paul Skeens and sometimes you get God knows who. Like, and even Paul Skeens, he's amazing, and the Pirates can't win diddly. And so it's just a different calculus. The guy plays in the minors for 3 years.
But I still like that your brain immediately went to, okay, why is Rob Manfred trying to hurt Colorado and help the White Sox? You were definitely trying to come up with a real reason it was fixed.
Manfred is a Browns fan, mad at Paul DePodesta for all the damage he caused. Now DePodesta's in Colorado, not giving it to him.
I I knew you could come up with one.
Makes perfect sense.
That buzz you might have felt last night was the NBA Cup Elite 8 tipping off in Orlando.
Here's Bane, waits for the flyby, steps in, open 3, got it. Desmond Bane heating up, 4 made triples on the night for DB3, Magic back up 5.
Desmond Bane scoring a season-high 37 in Orlando's 117-108 win over Miami. The Knicks then joined them in Vegas with a 117-101 win in Toronto with Jalen Brunson scoring 35. Their semifinal is Saturday night. The other quarterfinals tonight, Suns, Thunder, and Spurs, Lakers. San Antonio said yesterday Victor Wembanyama will not return from his calf strain for this one. They are 8-3 without him so far. The annual Jimmy V Classic at the Garden last night, 10th-ranked BYU erasing a 22-point hole, wasted a late 6-point edge, then beat Clemson 67-64 on a buzzer-beating three from Robert Wright III. And then 5th-ranked UConn, top number 18 Florida, 77-73, behind 19 points from Solo Ball.
Every single part of the game, we were thinking revenge. We know they're a great team, and they have great players 1 through 5. So, we had to come in with the mindset just to kill, really.
To kill,
wow.
Really. What is Dan Hurley telling these guys? Florida beat UConn in the second round of March Madness last spring, hence the revenge murder last night at the Garden. And the NFL announcing this morning it'll return to Munich, Germany next fall and in 2028. The NFL has already played 5 games in Germany since 2022, 2 of them being in Munich. Guys, back to you.
Fantastic. All right. Coming up, more of your phone calls and your nominees for the most embarrassing play in sports. This is loosely based off of Jalen Hurts' night, Monday in L.A. So keep them coming, 888-710-4ISN. Plus, coming up, Perloff and I will tell you who the team to beat is in the college football playoff bracket. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We got a lot going on with the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers in the building at 44. We got the Dodgers. Wow, really going for the three-peat with Edwin Diaz now signing with the team in free agency. But Wednesday is a great debate day. Today's question, what's the most embarrassing play in sports history? And Pearl, it was based off of your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, turning the ball over twice in the same play. But I don't know if that's as embarrassing enough to make one of these to make our top
In the moment, he's the first guy on record to have 2 turnovers in the same play. In the moment, it felt like he was going to make these lists, but then you actually watch an NFL Films video and the Garo Premium, someone called about, they just looked even a little sillier. Hurts just was an idiot on that play. If you get a fumble, he didn't know. He's never recovered a fumble like that, I'm sure. He's tried to run with it.
He was just trying to make something happen. I mean, because the game was just going really poorly for him already up to that point.
Yeah, he kept throwing to the other team. That was his problem.
Meanwhile, EJ's choice of Leon Lett, I mean, you could do a whole 30 for 30. He's got multiple plays.
You know what? I'm looking at a lot of these lists. The Cowboys are all over these darn lists. They had a lot of embarrassing plays. Tony Romo, we talked about, missing a hold. Leon Lett, Jackie Smith dropping the touchdown in the Super Bowl. It's not embarrassing. It's more tragic. But, I mean, listen, and I see who's on the line. That's why I'm kind of teasing the Cowboys. The Cowboys are sometimes an embarrassing franchise. That's all I want to say.
Well, our pal Big Dave in Kentucky, Pearl, has abandoned the Cowboys in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals, Dave. And I don't know if you've got an upgrade there. Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Bite me, McLovin. I'm doing good, guys. How y'all?
Doing excellent. All right, what's the most embarrassing play in sports history, Dave?
This might not be the most embarrassing. I think it's going to be high on the list, but it had to have carried the most weight. 1993 college basketball national championship game. Chris Webber's timeout that cost them a national championship against the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Dave, hold on 1 second. We have the sound from that play.
Long, a 2 to tie. Michigan will have to bring it.
Oh, he walked and the referee missed it.
Weber brings it into the front court. They have no timeouts remaining.
Oh, he causes too many timeouts. That's a technical foul.
He called a timeout. Michigan doesn't have any.
Dave, unbelievable. I remember where I was when I was watching it type moment because your jaw was on the floor that something like that happened.
Yeah, that was a crazy play. And likely probably cost them, or at least a really good, tangible chance of winning the championship. You guys are talking about McLevin's boy, Jalen Hurts, double turnover in one play.
Yeah.
As bad as I hate to say this, now that I'm a part of the Bengals tribe, I almost think that Burrow's back-to-back interceptions Sunday were worse than Hurts. I mean, I know it more than one play, but I mean, Jesus God. I mean, that
well, Dave, first, I think Burrow, listen, it opened the door for my Bills to win that game when they looked dead to rights. But, snow game, one of the balls got tipped.
I know, but you guys got to admit, have you ever, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen something like that, but, I said, I think it's like some kind of the Bengals. I suggested maybe that the team gather on the 50-yard line at midnight and maybe sacrifice a goat under a full moon.
I'm sure they try that. Wait, Dave, hold on one second. Oh, Dave's not there anymore. I want to ask Dave a question about that Ed Orgeron story that he told on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. So we found out Big Dave, who's been a loyal caller to the show since we were back in the afternoons, is a former warden.
Yeah. So wait, I don't know where you're going here.
Well, Ed Orgeron told the story
about
recruiting Adrian Peterson when he was coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And Edo was at USC at the time, and Adrian Peterson obviously was from Texas, but Adrian Peterson's father was incarcerated, and his dad was in a prison in Texarkana where they were able to show the Oklahoma games. And so Edo tried everything in his power at the time as the head coach of the Trojans to get Adrian Peterson's dad transferred from a prison in Texas to a prison in LA so he could watch USC football.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine Adrian
And I guess he would have
Peterson?
been an assistant then.
Yeah, I was saying, I think
he was an assistant,
still
not
Pete
that
Carroll.
coach.
Because this was 2004 when Adrian Peterson went to Oklahoma.
Pardon me.
Can you imagine him on that USC team was Reggie Bush? Yeah, he was still there. Oh my God, Leinart, Bush, Peterson, Lendale White. God, that would have been fun. Shame that Edo couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, so they could not. I wanted to ask Big Dave, does that ever happen where people get transferred for I don't know why people get transferred for certain prisons, but a reason like that. Because EJ was saying last night on the call, it reminds us a little of one of the plot lines from the movie He Got Game. When they wanted Jesus Shuttlesworth to go to Big State University. And they said they'd take some time off of his dad's prison sentence.
I mean, sounds...
They double-crossed him.
Sounds somewhat plausible.
It does. Yeah, I was like, man, this is He Got Game, but the football version. I would love to see this play out. This could have been a movie.
By the way, that side plot with the prostitute.
Yeah, it never really made sense.
It didn't work. The rest of the movie was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't love that part.
Mila
Jovovich. Weird. Yeah.
It felt like, I don't say gratuitous, like gratuitous nudity sex. It just felt a little gratuitous of a storyline. He just didn't need it.
Yeah, it didn't move the narrative along,
Let's
but
get
that
Spike
was
Lee
so
on the
cool
phone.
movie.
Yeah, let's talk
Spike,
about
what are you doing?
Yeah, let's teach him how to do movies. You guys saw that clip of the funniest clip I saw this week was Conor McGregor. He's talking about boxing, and he's shadow boxing. Yeah, see, when you box, you gotta do this. You don't step forward. You just do a jab. You do a jab, and the caption's you'll never believe who he's talking to. The camera pans over, it's Mike Tyson. Conor McGregor was so out of his mind at some point, apparently, that he thought he could teach Mike Tyson how to box.
Yeah. That's when you've been hit in the head a couple times.
Seriously.
Wow. Wilson is in Southern California. What's up, Wilson?
Well, good morning, you guys. Been a while.
How you been, dude?
I'm doing good, dude. How are you? You sound great.
We feel great.
Good. I'm glad. In 1968, in the world of golf, a golfer by the name of Roberto DiVincenzo from Argentina signed the wrong score on his partner's scorecard. It would have sent him into a playoff with a guy named Bob Golby, but instead he was disqualified. One of the most embarrassing moments in sports history, certainly in golf. And by the way, he had won previously he had won the British Open, so he was on a roll. And no Argentine would win another Masters many, many years later, 42 years. And I think it was, what's his name? Angel Cabrera? Yeah. Yes, but probably the most embarrassing moment in golf history.
Wait, Wilson, I'm seeing this here, and I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the story, but I'm just looking at it right now, and it looks like his playing partner, Tommy Aaron, incorrectly marked the wrong score on,
and he signed off his
and
card.
He didn't catch it. So he kind of got set up, though. It's not his fault. He didn't write the wrong.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
And there was a controversy, a mild controversy after that it was a setup. I don't think so. I just think it was an oversight. And he had come off, I believe DiVincenzo had his first bogey, and he was kind of mentally set off and distracted, which led to him signing the wrong scorecard for his partner. But it was a big gaffe, and I remember it. I remember, not that I watched a lot of golf when I was that young. And by the way, just before I get you off, how about Edwin Diaz here in Dodgerland?
Yeah, that's where I got to hang up on you, Wilson. No hard feelings from this Mets fan, but a little bit.
That golf story was 3 spots below Merkel's boner on the Yard Barker list, so I'm well aware of it, too. I wonder if Wilson knew about that play.
Man, it seems like he got a little set up, though. Guy wrote the wrong score.
That's all. I'm always a little terrified when they go into the cabin and sign the scorecard. I'm like, get that right.
Oh, gosh. I got to do a little more research on this one. All right. Keep them coming. The most embarrassing play in sport. Who's the team to beat in the college football playoff? We'll tell you next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Well, Notre Dame's been complaining now for 3 straight days, but Pearl, we actually do have college football, a champion that needs to be crowned. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, and we still have plenty of time to talk about this, but I have not gotten your thoughts yet on who you think the team to beat is in this 12-team college football playoff bracket.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go obvious, Ohio State.
Well, they just lost to Indiana, though, in the Big Ten title game. By 3 points, I get it.
And it's
close.
an exhibition game. Both teams knew they were in. Also, obviously, Ohio State, I'm not sure what their motivation was for that game. And they lost to Michigan last year and ended up beating everybody in the playoff field. It's so hard. If Indiana, and it's very possible, if Indiana meets Ohio State in the final, to beat Ohio State twice is very hard. Honestly, this is totally weird, but I think you get an advantage by losing that Big Ten title game. So, also, they're the best team. They have the most future pros. Ryan Day, I don't know. I don't totally understand his offensive philosophy anymore, but he can obviously dial it up in the playoffs. So, I'm pretty comfortable picking Ohio State, who's the Vegas favorite. But I got to tell you, I do think they'll play Indiana again. If I had to look at this field, that seems like the most likely matchup to me.
Wow. Okay, so that would be the championship game because they're on different sides of the bracket. Here's where I think Ohio State, you said it's advantageous to lose the Big Ten title game. Completely disagree because they ended up on the same side of the bracket as Georgia. And I think Georgia is the other team that would be a team to beat in this bracket of 12 that nobody seems happy with and everyone seems kind of ticked off unless you're an Alabama fan or you're EJ and rooting for his Miami Hurricanes. But I actually think that because of how this thing laid out, Texas Tech and Indiana are the 2 top seeds in one part of the bracket. And I think this sets up so well for Indiana. Because the SEC teams that you are facing in this side of the bracket are Alabama and Oklahoma, who are playing each other in the first round. And by the way, both teams, these are not the juggernauts of the SEC, right? Like Alabama's not played well over the last month, and Oklahoma has an amazing defense, but their offense is certainly gettable. So, this to me is setting up like Texas Tech, and we'll see what happens with that defensive line versus the likely Heisman Trophy winner and Fernando Mendoza with Kurt Cignetti, who seems like he could coach the pants off of anybody right now. So I think that Indiana actually is the team to beat, considering how this bracket laid out.
Well, by the way, you're that confident that Texas Tech will beat Oregon?
I am that confident that I've told you, and I don't mean this as any disrespect to our Ducks fans. I have a Duck costume hanging in my office. I'm all about the Ducks. But I do not understand how they are 5th in this bracket. I just don't see how they've earned that high ranking.
Right, but it's still a Big Ten team against a Big 12 team.
That's fine. I think Texas Tech is not your average, whatever you want to say, Big 12 team. I don't think this is just like a on paper, type of thing.
I love Texas Tech. In fact, I'd consider them a national title contender, but I'll bet you Oregon's favored in that game.
Possible, but I would still take Texas Tech in that game. If it were me, again, who's Oregon beat? I know Texas Tech. Like who have they beaten? But I was not so impressed with Oregon this year.
Yeah, well, listen, betting is bet on perception. I just think that people are saying, "Oh, it's a Big 10 team versus a Big 12 team," and I also think, say Alabama or Oklahoma, specifically Alabama advances against Indiana, I would watch that spread because Alabama's defense is no joke either, and Indiana. I know they beat Ohio State, but I don't think people take that Big Ten game that seriously. I think that is going to be an interesting game to watch too. I don't think that's any kind of given. I don't think any of these games are given. You're right. Georgia, I advanced Ohio State past Georgia. And first of all, Ohio State has to beat Miami or Texas A&M winner. That's going to be a hard game too. I think that all 12 teams the 10 teams that are not the 2 group of 5 teams are very, very close. And honestly, I think the 13, 14, 15 team could beat any of these teams. And we've seen it.
The ones who got left out.
I think Notre Dame would have been a dangerous, dangerous team in this bracket. I think Texas just beat A&M. They could beat anybody in this bracket. I think this would be It's going to be wild. If you have teams that are 13 and 14 who could beat the top two teams, then basically you're saying this is a wide open field.
Okay, so Pearl thinks that Ohio State's the team to beat. I actually think in that part of the bracket it's Georgia, but I think the way that this is laid out for Indiana to be in the top half of the bracket as the number one overall seed means that Indiana has the best path and they would be the team to beat. Now, here's a slightly different tweak on the question. Who do you want to win this thing? Like, if you just, like, what's the best possible outcome? Because Ohio State going back to back, unless you're a massive Buckeye fan, that kind of seems actually quite a little bit boring.
Totally.
Like, who do you think, what's the team that you want to win this whole thing?
Okay. I mean, it'd be cool if James Madison and Tulane won, but let's take that out of the equation because that's not going to happen in college football. If Ole Miss won, it would be like the universe is correcting itself. Because Lane Kiffin leaving for LSU, first of all, it destroyed the SCORE Act, the congressional bill to fix college sports. People were so mad about Lane Kiffin's exit that they blew up the entire deal. Basically, Lane Kiffin leaving was such a big deal. I know we haven't talked about it in a couple of days, which is weird. It was such a big deal. If the team won a title and Lane Kiffin did not get to lift the trophy, that would be the most incredible thing to witness. It would be epic. It would be huge. It'd be like, you chose the money and you miss out on this title. He would say, I'm happy for the kids, but he would be so sad. It would be just awesome. And also, too, I'm kind of rooting for those kids because they lost their coach. And I'm really actually very happy Lane Kiffin did the right thing, let his assistants go back and help game plan. It'd be really cool for the kids if they won this.
It'd be great for the players. I'll give you that. But I don't know. I think that even though Lane Kiffin, if Ole Miss did win this whole thing, even if Lane Kiffin is not on the podium raising the trophy, I think he will take all the credit for it. I think,
yeah, good luck with that.
Well, I'm just saying, I think that he would somehow, Lane is a master as far as social media goes, and like he's a very savvy guy. I think he would find a way.
Tony Dungy didn't get the credit for John Gruden winning with the Bucks,
and he should have.
Should have. It's a lot different than being up on that podium.
Yeah, I know, but I do think people mention Dungy. Like you do mention.
They'll mention
Dungy.
Lane. I mean, they'll mention Lane way more than he coached his team. He'll get a ring if they do rings. I mean, he was there, but the fact that everyone's mad, saying, "How can you leave right now? You're in the playoff." And he's like, well, I think I have a better chance to win a title at LSU. If this Ole Miss team in Trinidad and Chambliss got hot and they won, it would just be the ultimate rebuke of a greedy move.
I think that to me, the team that I want to win has got to be Indiana. Like the fact that this story has gotten to the place it's even gotten to, Pearl, which is Indiana making all types of history. This is Indiana. They're a basketball school. Meanwhile, the basketball program is in, flux, put it that way, not nearly living up to the old days. And now the football team would come in, reaching unprecedented heights. And then if they actually solidify this thing as a national champion over the likes of a Georgia beating Ohio State again, whoever they would meet in the championship game, they'll have to beat an Alabama or an Oklahoma. I mean, these are the bluest of the blue bloods in football that Indiana would have to beat. And then the new bloods in Texas Tech if it goes that way. So I would just think this is unreal if Indiana were to pull it off. That's the team I want to win.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I totally hear you, but it's funny. Maybe because they were in the playoff last year, it doesn't feel as Cinderella-y as it should. And maybe I'm caught up in the moment. You're right. If they actually did it, it's one of the most incredible turnarounds in college football or all of sports histories. But for some reason, I've already adjusted to Indiana being good, in my head at least. Because they were there last year.
Well, but last year was, who have they played? And they only played Ohio State. And when they went to Ohio State, they did not, that the score looked a lot better than the actual game flow in that game. And, and Ohio State controlled the game. Like, they just didn't have a signature win. And I think people were like, oh, they're just happy. It's just cool for them to be here. Then they follow it up with the Heisman Trophy winner, most likely, and Fernando Mendoza, maybe the number one overall pick in the draft next year, and a college national championship. I mean, that's serious magic. That's a different level than just making it last year because they got an easy schedule.
No, you're right. I don't know why. I'd be a little bored to see Indiana in the title game.
What?
Like an Indiana-Georgia title game, it doesn't have as much sizzle as some matchups. There's going to be, let's face it, obviously they would want Alabama, Ohio State, or they would want, brands. I'm not. I'm curious as far as ratings. I think
Georgia's a brand.
Georgia's a brand. I mean, I would say number one brand is Alabama. Number two is Notre Dame. I think Texas is probably the third. So, Ohio State does huge rankings as well. But I don't think if it was in Indiana, what'd be the worst matchup? Indiana A&M title game would probably not be ideal. Not that they care about ratings.
No, I was going to say like the Tulane James Madison, although that might be that might be the most incredible if you had two Cinderellas in this bracket. It's never going to happen.
I'm curious, and people could call it too. Have people caught Hoosier fever for football?
I think a lot of people have.
Really?
Yeah, I do. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I think that, whatever it is about Mendoza, he's got something. He's
getting compared to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I know. And there's something about Kirk Cousins that people can't quit. The Kirk O'Chains, he's been a part of 2 Netflix documentaries. Like, there's something about Kirk Cousins that clearly people find somewhat interesting. Because Kirk Cousins, I'll tell you why I find Kirk Cousins interesting after watching him on the Netflix show. He's actually got these weird parts of his personality that he's so deeply trying to repress, but it's so obvious. Like he only has his little area, his little closet where he keeps all his championship stuff, and he just goes in there every once in a while and looks around at his old high school memorabilia and like revels in his greatness. Guys, like that's odd to me.
If you're in the NFL and you're like, what quarterback's going to get us the highest rating? Kirk Cousins is not jumping to mind.
No,
that's my point. Like sizzle, like Fernando Mendoza is a great player. He's going to go number one overall. But I don't know. Remember when Cam Newton was in the national title game, or remember when even Jameis was in the national title game? Yep. That is not the vibe I'm getting here. I feel like they're a great story. But are they as exciting to everyone? Honestly, there's some incredibly fast, exciting players in this thing too. There's a lot of talent. I think people will get to know them because I don't know that everybody knows these 12. I'm talking about casual fans.
Yeah.
I've talked about Casey Concepcion and Texas A&M.
Yep.
EJ, do not punt to that man. He is a beast. Miami's got loaded of talent. John Mateer is still in Oklahoma. If they made a run, it'd be great. Alabama is Alabama. Oregon is a popular program, too. Dante Moore could step up. There's a lot that could happen here. Do you agree with me, at least, that it is quite an unpredictable field? Or do you really feel solid it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4 teams?
No, I think it's unpredictable. Because I'm also very curious to see if the trend, is it going to be a trend of last year, all the teams that got buys basically got blown out. And except for Texas and Arizona State, that was the only good game we had in that second round, really. And I'm really curious about, actually, the first round was a lot of blowouts, too, because it was on the college campuses, weather games, stuff like that. And then the second round was kind of cheeks, too, until that Arizona State game.
But that was the structure. That was part of the structure of the way they picked the first 4 teams. They had to be conference winners. So you got the weaker conferences facing the bigger conferences.
True. So maybe they've changed it, but I don't know. Maybe there's just something about that break. Pearl, you've asked if anyone's catching Hoosier fever.
Yeah.
Well, feast your ears on this.
Hey, Ohio State, we got a question for you. Who's your daddy? Daddy! We all know the man you fear. Cincinnati, Heisman, Mendoza, the QB of the year.
Cool. That's a bunch of college kids who put that together. A barbershop quartet.
Don't they call them something different in college? They're called the Huff and Poofs. Or what are those called?
The Whiff and Poofs. I think that's Yale.
Yeah, what is that called?
Acapella groups.
It's not a glee club. What?
Acapella groups.
Oh, acapella groups. Yeah. Right. They're not a barbershop quartet.
Yeah, I was thinking, all right, between the Hoosier Daddy and then the Padres guys, who do you have for the cringier fan video?
Slow down.
Oh my God, the Padres dad.
Yeah.
By the middle-aged Padre guys.
It doesn't get worse than the Padre guys.
Bryce gonna lose, and Manny's gonna cruise.
I don't know. I think that those are middle-aged guys who are, getting together for for some male bonding. These other dudes who did the barbershop quartet a cappella group thing, they're in college. You're in the prime of your
No, that's when
you're choosing to spend your time doing this when you've got a million other things. You could be partying.
No, that's when you do the goofy stuff. You do that when you're in college. You do things that you look back on and you say, "Oh man, why the hell did I ever do that?" It's not when you're middle aged, and that's when you're supposed to be chilling. You're supposed to be putting yourself out there and doing Padres raps. That's what's in.
No, here's the thing. you get to middle age like that, you have 0 Fs left to give. At that point, you're just being you. In college, you still have to try to be cool, except for these guys who did that Hoosier song. Can we play it one more time, please, Nico? This is a bunch of Indiana students.
Hey, Ohio State, we got a question for you. Who's your daddy? Daddy! We all know the man you fear. Cincinnati Heisman Doza. Goes up, QB of the year.
I'm out on Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana, they should have slid in the college football playoff at least 2-3 spots because of this.
I love it.
Song.
I'll guarantee you it'll be stuck in your head the rest of the day.
What I don't like about it, too, is that this doesn't feel Indiana to me. No offense to Perloff and my fiance who are Ivy League. This feels Ivy League nerdy.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel...
Indiana's a pretty nerdy school. That's a brainiac school, too.
Yeah, but I think... True. But Indiana is still Midwest. It's still cornfields. I don't associate this kind of, no pun intended, cornball behavior with Indiana University.
No.
Actually, I view because Indiana is lately kind of hard to get into. They have a lot of big-time alums. Yeah, I don't know. Indiana is a bit of a nerd school now. Not quite Vanderbilt nerd school, but it's leaning that way towards like Duke or something.
But I kind of agree with EJ here. I think this feels a little more like Yale, or I don't know, Dartmouth, where you went.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think Indiana is. Yeah, I don't know. I've ever seen the movie Breaking Away about Indiana. I don't think it's that different than that. And this is sort of a Big Ten vibe. By the way, you know who would eat that? The Texas Tech fans would never do. You're saying they would never do that?
The barbershop quartet, whatever.
The A&M fans definitely would. They've done so many cringe videos and stuff like this.
Different type of vibe though. That 12th man. That's not the same.
No, it's not even the 12th man. It's those folks that wear like those uniforms. They do a lot of
the night before.
Yeah. Those pep rally people.
But that's not this vibe.
No, I'm just saying they also do very embarrassing things. Different vibe, but same energy.
Yeah. I didn't think to compare him to those guys from A&M. To me, this felt like the Padres middle-aged dudes versus Indiana.
That's what's in.
They're a number one seed of cringy fan behavior.
That's an all-timer. And to do that right as you just had this great playoff win and you're entering this, you knew that Philly, I'm surprised you guys, did you sweep them? You should have swept them after that video. That was embarrassing.
Was that the Bryce Harper Homer series?
Yeah.
But you know what, Nico, you're the youngest person here by a significant amount. Well, you and EJ aren't that far apart, but significantly younger. You like it.
I think it's catchy and fun. I don't know why we can't just, let them have their moment. They've been waiting so long for this. I mean, not these guys specifically, but Indiana fans have been waiting since 1967 for something like this. Let them do whatever they want. I got no problem with it.
Man, I love Nico. He does not have like a shred of cynicism in his body. It's like you just haven't seen enough yet. And you have seen some things, but it's like it hasn't beaten you down. I love it. God, I wish I was young again like that.
My brother gets mad at me constantly because he's actually 2 years younger than me, and he's Islanders, Giants, Cleveland Guardians, and it's like nothing but pain. And he's like, how are you still positive? It's just like...
You got your Wolverines.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, one more time. Let's hear the Indiana one. Who's right on this? Is Nico right? It's just everyone lighten up, they're having some fun, or is it EJ Perloff and myself dunking on these dudes?
Hey, Ohio State, we got a question for you. Who's your daddy? Daddy! We all know the man you fear. Cincinnati Heisman Doza. Goes up, the QB of the year.
And you're welcome, America, for that being in your head for the rest of the day. All right. 888-710-4ISN. Has Fernando Mendoza in Indiana caught on? That's what Perloff is asking today. And also, the great debate, the most embarrassing play in the history of sports. It's inspired by Jalen Hurts' performance on Monday night. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Heisman Trophy will be handed out Saturday night. It'll probably go to Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback. I got to be honest, this is going to sound like a knock, and I guess it is. If I'm the Heisman organizers or if I'm looking at the college football playoff as an ESPN executive, I'm wondering, is there sizzle around Fernando Mendoza? Like, I don't know what sizzle is around a quarterback. I guess you know it when you see it. Joe Burrow at his final year at LSU. I feel like everyone's like, yeah, Mendoza's really good, but there's not that kind of connection to him being super exciting, to me at least.
Well, I don't know, because he's very excitable. And he's got this sort of like when he does that interview after they win the Big Ten title game where he seemed like he was about to cry. And instead of looking at the reporter who's asking him questions, he's just staring down the barrel of the camera, like into your soul, sitting at home watching that title game. Like he's got something.
But did you know any of that before that moment?
Well, I knew he was kind of like very corporate sounding, but this was a little bit of a different spin. Like I knew
now the Hoosiers are flipping champs.
Yeah, flipping champs. I think people liked it.
Yeah, but again, I don't know if that's enough. I mean, Ty Simpson's a crazy man on the field. Again, I don't think there's that much sizzle around him.
Well, Pavia's got the most riz out of all these finalists.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure he's good enough to be that guy, too. I'm not sure what's going to happen here in this playoff. Like, who will emerge as the stars? Who are we going to remember? Who's the guy? If it's Ohio State, is it the quarterback or is it the receiver? And which receiver? I have no idea who's emerging out of that group.
Let's go to Sid, who's in Texas, wants to talk about Fernando Mendoza. What's up, Sid?
Good morning, Andrew and Maggie. How you doing this morning?
We're great. What's up?
Oh, great. I wanted to go ahead and comment on Fernando Mendoza. I think the reason why he's so good is because he always, mentions God, when he gets an interview. And I heard he's a devout Catholic, and I think that's why he's being blessed so much. He seems like a very nice guy and with a nice family.
Sid, he does do that. To be honest, I don't even notice it anymore because so many guys do that. And, first thing is all thanks to God. And I guess I'm just sort of used to it on the pro level. I used to, a million years ago, I used to do sideline reporting for high school and kids would do it then. It's not that I'm not acknowledging it. I guess I just don't. I feel like I hear it all the time. I don't know if it necessarily distinguishes one guy from the next. But if you were asking me whether God's an Indiana Hoosier fan, I would have said no until recently because this turnaround feels almost like a miracle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the category that Fernando Mendoza's in. I mean, there's a lot of 20-something-year-old, I guess he's Catholic, evangelical quarterbacks who just, there's definitely been arguments that kind of faith can help you be a confident player. And I think there could be something to that for sure. Kirk Cousins, obviously, son of a preacher and preaches himself. That can be a thing that can make a guy more mature. Absolutely. Yeah, but it's not exactly thrilling as a football product necessarily. That's why I'm saying Fernando Mendoza seems like a great guy. And
right, that's not enough.
Yeah. But then
he's
again,
got no edge is what
if he just completely balls out, then I guess. And by the way, he throws such a beautiful pass. That's something. I guess I don't know. I feel like who's exciting? EJ's Miami Hurricanes, and you know why they're exciting? Because of the Hurricanes. There's just a lot there, and Texas Tech's kind of exciting because they're on edge and they have these crazy future NFL players running around. I don't know. I can't really wrap my head around Ohio State too. That game was boring. That was a terribly played game in a sense. Give me spread offense. What has happened to this sport?
Perloff, his attention can only be there for certain elements have to be there. You need minimum 47 points scored between the two teams, or else you can't even look up from your phone. Yeah,
I mean, I'd like to see spectacular athleticism too. And trust me, Indiana is not like Phillip Rivers, who's across town in Indianapolis. I know they have spectacular athletes. I'm just saying, I love to see the flash and the sizzle.
Well, they were early in the season. Remember, they were beating teams 60-10. Remember they beat Illinois 63-10. It seems like those blowouts.
I was excited for that game, but that game got boring.
Well, people thought Illinois was a good team this year, and then it fell apart. But
they're not doing that against the better teams. It seems like.
I was thinking, what kind of following would Mendoza have if he was the quarterback at the University of Miami?
I mean, I was thinking about that all throughout the season until we finally got into the playoff.
Yeah.
Thank God Carson Beck figured itself out. But I was saying last year I wanted Mendoza as the Miami quarterback because Miami went to Cal and they almost lost because he lit them up for 3 quarters until Cam Ward pulled a miracle out of his behind. He was good at Cal, just nobody watched.
Yeah, he's from Miami.
Yeah.
Grandparents all from Cuba.
His dad played football at Columbus High School with Mario Cristobal.
He does not give a Miami vibe at
all. No, not so much?
No, not really. Miami's cool and hip, and he's just not.
He's not South Beach to you, Fernando Mendoza?
I don't see it.
Let's get to Bogish. Who's got the latest headlines? What's up?
Nico would know. We heard Nick Sirianni.
Mr. South Beach. Him and Pipple.
We heard Nick Sirianni say Monday night that he still isn't changing his coaching staff, even after all those turnovers and just 19 points against the Chargers. But maybe he'll reconsider after he hears this from LaShawn McCoy.
Is Kevin Patullo doing the best job? Absolutely not. He is not. Is he going to be the offensive coordinator there next year? Absolutely not.
He better not.
He can't.
If
he
he's
can't be.
back, I'm leaving the Eagles. If Kevin's
Where are
back,
you going, Shady? You're in the Hall of Fame. Your jersey's retired.
take me off.
You can't.
Take me off is crazy.
Nobody's ever asked.
Take me off.
And I'm gonna say it's either.
Take me off.
I'm gonna say,
That's
and Mr. Lurie. Now, anything I need, he gives me. Mr. Lurie, it's either me or Kevin.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's Shady Emmanuel Acho on their podcast, Speakeasy, and there's the gauntlet has been laid down.
Yeah, and
It's
they
me or
will,
Kev.
They will switch to the offensive coordinator because that's what they do all the time.
Yeah.
They absolutely will. They're watching the Cleveland situation and they're watching the Miami situation. I think they want a proven offensive coordinator, obviously. A guy with more experience. Kevin Patullo is too young.
I love, as much as people hate Philadelphia, I love how much former players are so dialed into this freaking team still. The Philadelphia Eagles are like the Degrassi of the NFL. Like, you never really leave. Like, these characters that we thought were long gone somehow still are invested in today's Eagles.
Also, they're just the most opinionated group of former players. Like, we get Troy Aikman with the Cowboys, and, like, Emmitt Smith will give us something every now and then when things get real bad. But, like, I've never seen former players who are just ready to roast the team at all times.
And you don't even have to be like an NFL Hall of Famer to constantly be talking about the Eagles.
Well, I think it's a supply
they'll listen to
demand
any
thing.
former player.
You know how New York's a baseball town and a little bit of the other sports? Like, there's nothing but Eagles in Philadelphia. Like, this Kyle Schwarber thing's nice, but it is Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. So there's a lot of work for these guys. I think that's part of it.
I mean, I love it. It's just like, if I'm an Eagle fan, it's like these guys never leave my life.
But how many former, Yankees and Mets are constantly killing the organization?
Right, and Carl Banks here in New York is only killing the Giants because the Giants have killed him over the last decade on their radio broadcast. Having to watch all this nonsense.
Watch all that disgusting.
He's like a prisoner of war.
It's just like it's a lot of criticism. Like, even the former Raiders, I feel like, don't go after the Raiders like this.
And the Eagles just won. And you got Shady going, I'm out.
That's last year, Bogish.
They're like the Eagles fans a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fan bases probably would love for like their players to threaten the organization with like
take my jersey out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like there was a great Pittsburgh Pirates be like, don't trade school.
You want Sid Bream yelling about Paul Skeens right now?
You know what I think it is? I think that and this should apply to Boston, New York too, but it definitely applies to Philadelphia. I think there's something about the fan base is so hard on you, Pearl, and they're booing even though you're the Super Bowl champs and all of that I think the former players want the current players to have to go through what they went through. It's like, if I had to walk both ways to school uphill in the snow, you're going to have to walk to school both ways in the snow. Like, I got killed by Howard Eskin. Now you're getting killed by Spike Eskin. It's like a rite of passage. And if I had to go through it, you've got to go through it. No one gets spared. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. But, this is, I was just thinking about, you mentioned Pittsburgh. That's a city, too, where the former players have a lot of opinions.
Great point.
What's with Pennsylvania? It's like the Pennsylvania teams are only teams where the
football
Steelers and
towns.
Eagles. Yeah, you're right.
Ben Roethlisberger's like, Tomlin's got to go.
Yeah.
Surprised.
You guys didn't really grow up in a football town where that's all there is. I think, think of the Feinbaum show. Like, they fire everybody all the time. Like, that, everybody is just all in expecting perfection all the time.
No, because there's another mix there of Philadelphia angst, because there are cities that are just football towns like Buffalo or Green Bay, and I don't think they don't crush the team, especially when the team's winning.
Yeah.
They don't crush
but those
the
are
team.
Midwestern cities. So
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Why.
It's not just about being a football town only. You also have that Philly edge.
Definitely. You're right. But by the way, there are a lot of former players who go after their own team. That is not just a Philly thing.
But it's the volume of guys. It's not that guys don't do it. It's like, it's everybody. Everybody who's played for the Eagles has an opinion.
All right, Bugs, what else you got?
We were still sorting through the Clippers' Chris Paul divorce. CP3 telling People.com that he's at peace with being sent home. He is spending time with his family and excited about, quote, getting a chance to play a small role in whatever anything looks like next. Meanwhile, head coach Ty Lue denying reports he and Paul were not speaking before the breakup.
How you going to play and I'm not talking to him? So, it was a stretch where, when
said he wasn't going to play. He was going to be out of the rotation. It was tough for him because he's a competitor and what the game means to him and what he brings every single day. But after that, it wasn't really much.
And Ty Lue spent a lot of this early part of the season denying a lot of things.
The Clips won the night Paul was sent home, but have lost their 2 games since, dropping to 6-18. The Knicks might be the best team in NBA Cup history, the only squad to reach the quarterfinals all 3 years. And now they finally advance, a 117-101 win in Toronto last night. Jalen Brunson scoring 35. The Magic, 117-108 winners over the Heat, so they'll meet New York in Vegas on Saturday night. 10th-ranked BYU beat Clemson at the buzzer, 67-64 in the Jimmy V Classic at the Garden. A.J. DeBonsa didn't hit that winner, but did have 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. UConn took the nightcap, 77-73 over number 18 Florida. The 5th-ranked Huskies now have 4 wins over ranked teams this season. On campus, number 2 Michigan hammering Villanova, 89-61 in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines have won their last 6 games by at least 25 points. And the stress treadmills were buzzing late last night in Buffalo.
McLeod walks in against his former team. Dishes off, Tuck shoots and scores. And the Sabres survive the comeback and ultimately claim a 4-3 overtime victory.
That's Alex Tuck scoring in overtime. The Sabres winning 4-3 in Edmonton after allowing the tying goal in the final seconds of regulation. Hence, Maggie's good mood this morning.
I was spared that I'm not a Sabre fan. Bills are the one team.
Cut and paste.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Andrew Bogish. All right, coming up, we have a big question about one NFL team and some changes that could be on the horizon. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff Show. The play of the day is sponsored by NHTSA. Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. All right, EJ, what's the play of the day?
Actually, it's Nico's got the play of the day.
Nico, what's the play of the day?
So we're going to go with the play that Bogusch talked about earlier. Robert Wright III at the buzzer for BYU.
With 1.3 to go. It's got to be quick. Boscovich handed the ball into Rob. Shoots from three. Yes! And scores it! Rob Wright III just won it for BYU!
There you go. That's your play of the day, sponsored and paid for by NHTSA. Okay, right now you can go vote. The Maggie and Perloff, great debate. Topic today, what is the most embarrassing play in sports history? I'm proud to say my choice of Mark Sanchez's butt fumble is leading the pack. It's become shorthand. Like, it's what we say now about embarrassing plays, Pearl. You said Jalen Hurts turning the ball over twice in one play Monday night was the Jalen Hurts butt fumble equivalent. I'm just
I'm
in the
disappointed.
lead.
That's just because we didn't put my second choice on there. If Merkel's boner was on there, and if we called every bad play, that's the Merkel's boner. It's just happened in 1908.
I would say
Felt
our
like
tweet,
yesterday.
I would say our tweet would get reported, but if you watch Twitter nowadays, there's a lot of explicit content on there.
No, the bar's got
You're
to be way
saying that
higher.
it was allowed to say that in 1908, but you can't say it now?
Didn't mean the same thing. Perloff's choice of Jim Marshall running to the wrong end zone is in second place. The Leon Lett block field goal and that he falls on Thanksgiving game, not the Super Bowl, the Thanksgiving game, that's in third place. Vince Carter jumping over Frederick Weiss is in fourth place. Nico, unfortunately, we didn't have a fifth spot on the poll. The band is on the field. Stanford Cal famously is a write-in.
Yeah, it's because you guys knew I was going to win, so you didn't want me in there.
Oh, man. So keep them coming. I thought the Jose Canseco home run ball that bounces off his head into the stands in Cleveland was also a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a little relieved because as we recall all these plays, I realized Jalen Hurts 2 turnovers in one play probably won't make a top 5 list. Maybe top 15, but not top 5.
All right. Speaking of embarrassing, that's a harsh criticism, but Rich Paul, the super agent for LeBron James and many other famous basketball players, he's also, are they married? He's engaged to Adele. I don't know if they got married yet.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Oh, yeah, they're engaged. But anyway, famous guy, maybe not a household name for casual fans, but getting there. He's got a podcast now with Max Kellerman doing a podcast, and they started talking about LeBron James's future. So Rich Paul, I'll hear cut 10, please, Nico, with a candid assessment of where the Lakers are right now.
I personally don't think the Lakers are good enough to be contenders right now. Not right now.
When you say contenders, what do you mean?
I don't think they have enough to get to the Western Conference Final. I don't think they have enough to get to really contend from that perspective.
So
right
OKC is in a class by themselves.
Very much so.
Okay, so kind of goes on from there, right? Where Rich Paul, who's the agent of LeBron, doesn't think that the Lakers are contenders, Pearl. And some could be reading that into Rich Paul trying to send a message to the Lakers, hey, you need to do more at the trade deadline to make yourself a better team. Now can I hear cut 15? This is where it feels like talking points. Rich Paul saying that LeBron is going to remain a Laker this season. And no, please, nobody talk about any other team, including the Knicks.
Is LeBron realistically a guy who could not be on the Lakers at the end of this year?
No.
He will be on the Lakers at the end of this year.
Yeah, where's he going to go?
I mean, New York comes to mind.
That's wishful thinking,
if they can't,
you're from New York.
Okay, let's hear the next one. Rich Paul admitting that LeBron, well, actually, he would help the Knicks, wouldn't he?
Does LeBron make the Knicks
Brunson's
better?
too small.
Yes.
Yeah,
he would, of course.
Yeah.
But 29 other teams would say the same thing.
They're going to make it seem like it was Max's idea. Like, to me, this is so obvious that these are clutch talking points, Clutch Sports, obviously. Rich Paul, that's the agency, and LeBron founded it with Rich Paul. And I'm sorry, like, as much as I know Max Kellerman is a great talent, and obviously Rich Paul is a very influential agent, but I'm not going to tune in for a podcast that is LeBron James passive-aggressive talking points being pawned off as, like, these are Rich Paul's thoughts.
Wait, but how do you know that LeBron's thoughts aren't Rich Paul's thoughts? Maybe LeBron is doing Rich Paul's bidding. Maybe this is all his team-building ideas.
So that LeBron's the puppet and that Rich Paul's the puppet master?
Well, I think he might take advice from Rich Paul.
That's fine. It's just they're going to use this podcast, I think, to try to get like LeBron's agenda out there.
Right, he's like
so I'm
he's
not
an
going
agent.
to going to listen to it though. Like you're going to turn me off.
But it's kind of like but that's Rich Paul's job is to be the agent to try and get. I think that what they're saying, right, is that we trade, use some future resources to trade for something because, and I kind of agree with them. I'm actually surprised. I just wanted to look up the odds. The Lakers are 4th in title odds. That's got to be popularity because I feel like Oklahoma City, they don't have enough firepower for Oklahoma City right now, not to mention some of the other really good teams in the West. So this is just trying to get more players, right?
See,
that's Rich Paul's job. But you're saying this is not the place to do it?
I don't know. It's just, when you do a podcast, the object is to get an audience, and I'm not going to tune in for what I think is LeBron's state-run media. And so for me, like what I think Rich Paul is trying to do here is he's trying to set up this is good for both parties. Like LeBron is obviously looking at the Knicks and thinking this could be a title contender, and he might want to join the Knicks. And Rich Paul is saying the Lakers are not a contender, so you got to do something to change it up. And maybe he's trying to work both sides here. That LeBron gets to New York and that the Lakers get something from the Knicks that's of value. That's what I think is going on here. This is all, I don't know, LeBron, the Knicks, like to me, this is all facade. This is, and I don't know if Max Kellerman he's obviously a willing participant here. I don't know if he realizes that he's getting used in this whole thing. And Max needs a comeback, so that's fine. He wants to sit there and be part of LeBron TV. But that's what this is, in my opinion.
Wait, but he just said that he's not going to the Knicks. And I believe him, by the way, because like, come on, like, the Knicks? Why would the Knicks want LeBron?
Okay, so here's Rich Paul when asked if he could convince LeBron to waive his no-trade clause to go to the Knicks.
Between you and me, Rich, I know you wouldn't have any special insight into this, but do you think he could talk LeBron or don't know anyone who could talk LeBron into waiving a no-trade clause to go to New York? New York?
I mean, listen. He definitely makes them better. I will give you that.
If he could stay healthy.
I don't really play fantasy basketball.
Right.
But
I do.
He definitely makes them better.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I was the Knicks don't. Leisha, the Knicks don't want LeBron James, do they?
I hope not.
I don't LeBron wants them.
Rich Paul.
That's why his agent is out here being like, "Oh, this is all Max's idea."
But there's no way that is. I mean, there are teams maybe that LeBron fits, but the Knicks have something going on. Like they can't put that old man out on the court. They have a rotation.
I mean, yeah, I don't think a lot of Knicks fans want LeBron either. But this is about, like Maggie said, I think this is LeBron's story. He's trying to craft his story, and if he could maybe do a farewell tour playing at Madison Square Garden, it seems pretty great for him.
This year,
yeah, but he'd be on the team next year if you traded for him. Like he's done the contract, or I guess he'd be an opt-out or whatever the situation is.
But this is not that Rich Paul wants him to get more players to the Lakers.
Maybe it's that, but
they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. I think they're like, listen, we need to strong arm the Lakers into making some moves. So let's talk about like all the issues they have and why they're not contenders. And hey, if you think that you're fine with just us sitting around, all right, we'll talk about other teams and we'll float out there that maybe LeBron could work his way.
Yeah, and maybe OG Anunoby does kind of help the Lakers a little bit, or whatever they're going to end up floating out there. See, to me, this is just LeBron trying to play his options, and I don't think the relationship is that great between LeBron and the Lakers right now. Obviously, I think a lot has gone on. I know they drafted Bronny; everything should be fine there, but I don't think it necessarily is because they clearly have made this about Luka, not him.
I mean, there's a lot was said in this podcast, but I mean, Rich Paul just starts criticizing J.J. Redick during the middle of this podcast. He doesn't say his name, but he basically says they're using LeBron incorrectly.
Yeah.
He's like, why are they using LeBron in the corner when he should be the screener? Why are they letting DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes make all these decisions? And I'm like, whoa, that's flat out going after the coach.
And by the way, when did Rich Paul become Pat Riley? Do you think he really is that? I mean, he obviously knows about basketball. I'm not trying to criticize the guy for that, but obviously this is what he's hearing from LeBron. So this is, you can miss me with it, is just what I'm saying. I get it, and I think Max Kellerman just wants somebody to talk boxing with so badly. He's like, all right, I'll do this with Rich Paul.
I just had enough for Rich Paul.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I
get
60 minutes profile.
Yeah,
all that
he's
stuff.
he's doing too much. I mean, look, LeBron wants him to do everything, but it's like you get to a certain point. Perloff also mentions like, why is LeBron so unlikable? I think it's stuff like this. It's like, come on, I don't need your agent now being a hot take artist so you can get your agenda out there.
This also for this Ringer podcast, right? So this is a TV show because they're going to Netflix. So Max has a lot of TV experience.
Yep.
I think Rich, maybe with his connection to Adele and LeBron, he makes much more sense. I mean, 20 times the audience is going to go to the Ryan Russillo podcast, but that's often one guy talking to camera. This makes more sense as a TV product. I don't even think they care about the podcast numbers. To be
Maybe
honest.
not. That's fine.
Yeah.
But again, it's still like, what's the agenda of the show?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. But
what are you watching?
He's LeBron James' agent. What did you expect? It was going to be like not in Team LeBron?
Exactly. But it's just going to be another vehicle that in some ways, I hate to say it because LeBron is like, I love him, but this is kind of, it feels a little pathetic,
Who's worse, Rich Paul or Scott Boras?
Oh, Boris is the worst. This is like our question about the Padres fans versus the guys singing about Fernando Mendoza. It's both cringy when Scott Boras does those stupid puns talking about his free agents. The polar vortex is
I don't know. That is a guy who shocks me. Scott Boras said he's still working. The amount of money he must have, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's called ego.
I have no idea.
He's got to be the center of the sport.
But yeah, why is he still pushing for all these? Like every dollar is like life or death to the dude. He's got $800 million in the bank. I honestly don't know how he wakes up in the morning and does this job.
Competition.
Competition with what?
I know.
Other agents.
There's no second agent. Are there other agents in baseball?
Oh, definitely.
I know one thing. I'd rather be Scott Boras than Rich Paul because I don't have to kowtow to just one guy. I actually, you talked about who's the puppet master between Rich Paul and LeBron. I think it's very clearly LeBron. There's no question who's the puppet master for Scott Boras clients. Scott Boras is the one running the sport.
I know. I love it when they always say, well, listen, Pete Alonso, he's the client here of Boras. He's got the power. It's like, no, he doesn't. Boras is telling him what to do, and he's taking the advice. And 9 times out of 10, it works out. Unless you're Michael Conforto.
Boras is also a bit of a monopoly, too, because he's got all the top players, so he can play everybody against each other. I mean, he owns everybody. It's kind of boring at this point. That's why. NFL, by the way, the NFL, those agents are a trip, too. Those guys. I mean, agents are agents. What do you expect? You're saying you're not tuning in.
No. Not going to be my cup of tea. Thank you, EJ Stewart. Thank you, Nico Scarlatos. Thank you to Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, Guido's Coffee Drinkers. Phenomenal job all morning long. Catch you later.